Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, probably the most exciting circuit in Britain. Ivan Muller, double pole winner. Probably the best way to start your BTCC campaign. Ivan Muller on pole. Matt Neal on second. Anthony Reid on third. Dan Eves on fourth. And there's a surprise, Tom Chilton in fifth. And he hasn't even passed his driving test.
So we are all set for the start of the British Touring Car Championship. Away they go. Ivan Muller gets a good start from pole position. Dan Eves in the orange Peugeot going away well. And Warren Hughes diving down on the inside into fourth place, now third place for Warren Hughes as he gets into Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, the other MG's off. That's Anthony Reid. Reid's off into the gravel. He's kept it going somehow as Muller comes around Druids for the first time already, pulling away slightly from Matt Neal. Well, drama indeed. Anthony Reid has dragged himself back onto the track. There he is, right at the back, and we're on board with Anthony as we come down into Graham Hill Bend. That's Annie Templeton just ahead of us, so Anthony's joined right at the back of the... Oh, and there's cars off all over the place. Anthony sneaks his way through the middle. Mark Thomas there, and both of the Gary Hales Motorsport Alfa Romeos are off at the side of the track as Muller gets away, Matt Neal in second, and Warren Hughes in third.
Fantastic start there for Warren Hughes, unbelievable getaway there. And you can see the gap now developing between the two Peugeots, and that's Tim Harvey there with David Leslie behind him, and the car's literally bottled up behind, just looking for a way past.
James Thompson is in that group, and remember, he's trying to make up ground after the blown engine. Up front, Tom Boardman in the production class. David Leslie went off in the background. Just saw the Proton disappearing out of view. Oh, and we've got the safety car out. Well, I suppose that's no great surprise. We've got cars littering the track. Chris, let's see what happened here.
Well, you can see Anthony Reid left out there on the wide side going into Paddock Hill Bend. He looked like he got a slight nudge there, but he's just kept his foot planted and got away with it, stayed out of the barriers.
Meanwhile, the 17-year-old wonder kid, there he is, Tom Chilton, and he's now attacking for fifth place behind Tim Harvey.
Well, Tim's got all the experience in the world.
Oh, we've got a problem with Paddock Hill Bend, sorry Chris, but cars off all over the place. There's Mark Thomas bouncing into the barrier. He was involved in that battle for third in the production class. Tom Boardman was in there, so was his teammate Spencer Marshall. Mark's trying to rejoin, but it was all mayhem.
Well, there you can see there Boardman just getting slightly out of shape down the hill out of Paddock Hill Bend, tags Thomas in the rear. He's into the barrier, but there's smoke pouring from the BMW too.
Oh, and Warren Hughes goes out of it. What a shame. Tom Boardman makes his way back into the pits. We saw that car was damaged after the accident at Paddock Hill Bend. And it's all over for the 18-year-old Tom Boardman. Now back to the mix on track. And Paul O'Neill now has caught Tom Chilton. Look at this. We're on board the Vauxhall Astra Coupe, same kind of car as Chilton's just ahead. Although Chilton's his last year's machine. Through Surtees, the long left-hander going out onto the Grand Prix track. Looked like a good run through there for Paul O'Neill.
Well, O'Neill got on the power really early on the exit of Surtees there. He's got a good run out of the corner. He's lined himself up nicely down the straight for the inside into Hawthorns. Simple manoeuvre now, just out-braking Tom on the inside, and he's taken the place. Very neatly done.
Great stuff from Paul O'Neill. This is his first race in the Tourer class. He was in the production class last year, but he's showing well in the more powerful, faster machinery. Oh, problem for David Leslie. He's out of the race, front left puncher. Perhaps he's hit the curbs a bit hard.
Okay, puncher.
Oh, and Ivan Muller, that was on the radio, reporting a puncture here on his car.
Okay, take it steady, it's front left,
Well, I don't think he needs the team to tell him that, Chris. Matt Neal takes the lead and Ivan Muller's in trouble.
Well, just look how slowly he's had to go around that right-handed corner.
Now we're on board with Ivan Muller, and he hasn't yet made it back to the pits, but he's nearly there. This is the last straight section before the pit entrance.
Okay, in, went in. Okay, Ivan, okay, we're going to do the front axle, okay? No, just do the front left. It's too late, we're set up for both, we're going to do both, okay? No, not on the right.
Well, the Vauxhall team there just fitting a left front tyre there. Muller was very keen to keep his hot, sticky right front tyre on to save losing even more ground.
Well, look at this battle going on now. O'Neill attacking Dan Eves, this is. The battle going on for what is now second position with Muller in trouble. And Paul O'Neill has driven a stormer. Oh, and Harvey's off. Tim Harvey's in the gravel. That's Druids. And what a shame, the other Peugeot, as this battle continues. Paul O'Neill nudging Dan Eves as they go down the Cooper Straight. But at the moment, Dan holding on to second place in the one remaining Peugeot with Harvey out of the equation. Chilton still running there in fourth. Let's see what happened.
Well, here we're on board the Vauxhall with Tom Chilton there, Tim Harvey in front, down the hill from Paddock Hill Bend. The Peugeot in front just gets away a bit slower, brakes a bit early. Tom Chilton brakes a bit late, and the result is the Peugeot is in the gravel trap.
What a shame. Let's watch it from on board, Tim. Oh, there he goes. You see his head go as he gets a clout from the rear into the gravel trap, and he says, what happened there? Well, he's out, but Matt Neal is very much still in this race. The 36-year-old, 4 times winner of the Independent Cup in touring car racing, now with a works drive, is going to come through to take his first win of the season with the new team.
Well done, boys. Good work, good drive. Well done, Matt, great stuff.
Marvin Humphreys congratulating him. Second place for Dan Eves. Chilton in third. Well, where's O'Neill gone? Paul O'Neill, we thought was going to be on the podium. There he is. He's in the gravel trap over at Clearways, and it's all gone wrong for him on this final lap. Now, let's see what happened. He was behind Dan Eves, coming down to Clearways. Doesn't really look close enough to try and challenge. Gets on the brakes. The car doesn't want to slow down. Oh, he's off, and he's into the tyres. Oh, and it's all over.
So a great result for Matt Neal in his first drive for Export, the highest finish for Dan Eves, and also a great result for Tom Chilton.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Just for me to come first race back for Egg, first race of the season, for Vauxhall, everything. Oh, I can't believe it. It's ace.
I thought I did a normal start, but then the Honda, I think it was, he got a stonking start. It's right up on my bumper. It was mayhem first corner. I mean, you know, cars to left, right, front, back, couldn't move at all.
Matt Neal off to a fantastic start for Egg Sport, and what a drive for the 17-year-old Tom Chilton. The puncher victim Ivan Muller will be hoping for better luck in the feature race, which he starts in pole position again, but look who is just behind him, Matt Neal. And one of the pre-season favourites, James Thompson, not in the first 9. But there, Dan Eves and Tom Chilton up there again.
It's a rolling start for the feature race, and Ivan Muller leading them round, coming through Clearways, and we're all set for the second round of the Green Flag British Touring Car Championship here at Brands Hatch. They wait till they come up to the line, and then Muller floors the throttle on his Vauxhall Astra Coupe to set off in front once again. Matt Neal slotting into second place there, but remember, Matt Neal's car now some 42 kilograms heavier. That success ballast has been added to his car. He bounces over the curbs a little bit as he comes through Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, and there's another accident. Paul O'Neill hits the barrier. Same place we saw Mark Thomas off earlier on today. This time it's Paul O'Neill at the start of the race, and he's obviously made contact with someone, but I'm not quite sure whom. Tom Chilton also in the gravel. Dear oh dear, let's have a look, Chris.
Well, here we have a great view there, the rear of Tom Chilton's car, but look, 3 cars ahead. Paul O'Neill tries to shut the door going into Druids, gets turned into the barrier. Everyone avoiding the action there, and well, here we see a big impact there for Tom Chilton.
So Muller has a comfortable advantage over Tim Harvey in the Peugeot.
Okay, 10 seconds.
And he's making an early stop.
Pit lane speed, pit lane speed.
Now his pit right up at this end of the pit lane, so he doesn't have to go far here to slot into the box, and hard at work, the 888 boys, now to change those 2 front tyres as quickly as possible and get him back out.
Well, those 2 new front tyres here will give the car extra grip, extra life on the way out of those very tight corners like the one they're coming up to now, Druids.
So Tim Harvey in the lead in the Peugeot. Look at Warren. Oh, he's hit him. He's hit Matt Neal. There, he's got going again. I thought he was going into the gravel trap, but he's somehow managed to sort it out. But that put James Thompson into second and Reed into third.
Well, fantastic recovery there from Matt Neal. You can see Warren Hughes just tags him on the inside. A half-hearted manoeuvre there, but Matt Neal kicks his foot down.
Tim Harvey coming up towards Surtees. The left-hander on Thompson's taking a late dive down the inside, and he takes over the lead of the race. Well, I wasn't expecting that, and I don't think Tim was either.
Well, he certainly wasn't. He just left the door open a little bit, but that's all that James Thompson needed. His Vauxhall Astra seemed to outbrake the Peugeot quite easily there.
Spencer Marsh off into the gravel trap at Druids, and there was contact. Mark Thomas, his teammate, is also off somewhere as well. James Thompson wants to get past Aaron Slight as quickly as possible, makes the move into Paddock Hill Bend, down the inside, and it won't be long, I don't think, before Ivan Muller does much the same, just about getting through without any contact.
Well, the two factory cars making short work of Aaron Slight there. They've got one car in front of them. You can expect them to do something very similar there to Warren Hughes. Warren Hughes will surely have to make his pit stop very soon anyway.
So the two Vauxhall cars come through, Aaron Slight, and now let's take a look at a replay here of Thompson and Aaron Slight.
Well, Slight tries to defend his line there, but Thompson squeezes through that gap just wide enough to fit an Astra through.
Warren Hughes coming on round and in fact heading for the pit lane now, so our new race leader is indeed James Thompson as they head onto the start-finish straight. But look at Ivan Muller, now he begins to attack, moves to the outside. We've seen people do this and then cut back to the inside on the exit. Can he do it? Meanwhile, Tim Harvey has to serve a pit lane speeding penalty, but no, Thompson's covered the inside. Well, that's good stuff. Very experienced racers, these two. And Thompson showing Ivan Muller he knows how to drive Brands Hatch.
He certainly does. He knows how to defend as well. Keeps Muller behind him there into Graham Hill Bend and doing a good job in the process. Rob
Collard leads the production class, but in the middle there is James Kay. Now, he's 8 laps down. They started the race late, but that car's going really quickly. James Thompson comes through. He's leading, lights ablaze.
Jimmy, it's H, do you read? Yes, Captain. Okay, Ivan will not attack you. Ivan will not attack you. Just bring the cars home. Bring the cars home. Okay, righty ho.
Well, that's nice to hear, Chris. Sounds like James has heard that he won't be put under pressure for that lead.
Well, he sounded quite disappointed, actually, that he wasn't going to have to fight his way to the checkered flag, but sensible professional stuff there from the Vauxhall team.
Tom Boardman and Mark Thomas. Oh, Thomas has got it all sideways again. Well, he is a former rallycross racer, you know. That was some great car control, but he's lost a number of places as a result. And the man from Port Talbot in Wales is having quite an initiation to touring cars this weekend. Well, it's been fantastic racing here at Brands Hatch, and it's James Thompson who just has one more corner to go to take his first win of the season. In fact, he took a win here last year as well, but this one will be even sweeter after all the problems he's had. James Thompson comes through to take victory. Second place for teammate Ivan Muller, third for the MG of Anthony Reid, and fourth for the sprint race winner Matt Neal. Here comes the winner in the production class, a brilliant drive from Rob Collard in the little Renault Clio. This car prepared by West Surrey Racing. They build the MGs as well, so they've had a good day, and he comes through as second place in the first race. The win in the second race here for Rob Collard. Second for Tom Boardman in the BMW, and Graham Saunders third in the Alfa Romeo.
So Ivan Muller on team instruction was told not to overtake James Thompson, after Thompson had an engine failure in the first race. A great double then for Vauxhall. Muller leads the Drivers' Championship. Tom Chilton and Dan Eves the surprises. A useful win for Robert Collard in the production class. A great start for Vauxhall Motorsport, looking unassailable again, but also a very useful start for MG. So in a day of comebacks, James Thompson got the feature race, and it wasn't such a bad day for Ivan Muller after all.
It was a 2-3 second lead, and when I went out with the cold tire, I be careful really with the cold tire to not push too hard. And when the safety car came just after, I had a vibration on the front axle, so I didn't take any risks. Behind Tomo, I stayed 3-4 laps to push hard, and then I said by radio, okay, I stopped to push because I want this second place.
I just can't quite believe a week ago this car was in a million pieces. It wasn't even run for the first time. So, you know, this MG has just gone so fantastically well.
With the touring cars moving north to Alton Park, the championship started to take shape. Already, Vauxhall Motorsport had become the team to beat, and as manufacturers they were threatening to sweep all before them once again. The grid was beginning to take on a pretty familiar look, as well, with the usual suspects, Matt Neal, James Thompson and Ivan Muller occupying the first 3 positions. Just behind were the MGs of Anthony Reid and Warren Hughes. And in 8th place, Paul O'Neill, brother of Sporty Spice, learning the ropes of touring cars.
Matt Neal has a 2-point advantage in the series as we're all set to go. With the sprint race from Alton Park, away they go then at the start of 15 laps. A good getaway there for Matt Neal. A bad getaway indeed for James Thompson. Matt Neal on the left-hand side of the picture, getting a little bit of a nudge from Tim Harvey. Ivan Muller, the Frenchman, coming around the outside. And Anthony Reid into 4th, and that's Thompson on the grass there as they came out of Old Hall, the first corner. Everyone seems to have got through there safely, and it's Matt Neal just ahead of Ivan Muller. Tim Harvey is battling away with Anthony Reid for 3rd position. Reid in the MG into 3rd place, and now it's Harvey versus Hughes for 4th position. Down towards Island Bend, the hairpin on cold tyres.
Yeah, quite a demanding corner, especially on cold tyres. It's a long radius corner. They all scrabble for grip out of there, trying to get traction. So it is it's very difficult, as you say, on that first lap.
Matt Neal has the advantage at the moment over Ivan Muller. 2nd place for him. Look at the 2 MGs. Anthony Reid under pressure from Warren Hughes as they come down towards Knickerbrook. But Reid just holding off the advances of his teammate. Tim Harvey comes through. Colin Turkington just getting a little bit out of shape. Oh, and we've got a car off. That's John B&Q off at the top of the hill.
Yeah, here we see the replay. There's John B&Q. They seem to sort of cross each other. There he has a huge helicopter 360-degree spin.
Battle for 3rd, that's Warren Hughes getting down the inside of his experienced teammate Anthony Reid. Reid's car carrying 18 kilos of ballast. Oh, and Dan Eves is off, that's up at Lodge.
Yeah, here we are on board with David Leslie, who's following this incident, and there, Dan Eves just loses it. He does turn in a bit late, but normally you have understeer there and not oversteer, so maybe he's got some sort of mechanical problem.
Well, David Leslie was able to get past Colin Turkington, who was held up a little. Race leader Matt Neal looking to try and repeat the victory he had at Brands Hatch. Ivan Muller still right behind him. Then it's Warren Hughes, Anthony Reid, Tim Harvey in the bright orange Peugeot, and look at James Thompson right behind them. Made a bad getaway initially, but he's beginning to challenge this little gaggle of cars.
Okay, Matt, bad news. You've had a drive-through penalty for creeping on the start. I suggest we take it now, get it out of the way in case there's a safety car.
That's our race leader being told he's got a penalty now.
Fair enough. Yeah, we've tried haggling it, but it's the original start. Let's get it done now.
Well, poor Matt Neal, he's into the pits immediately, and he's got to go through on the speed limiter. Disappointing or what, Will?
Yeah, big time disappointment, because it was his own mistake off the start. We thought he jumped it, maybe he was out of position, I don't know. But he's now just got to get his head down. He's got to use that anger and channel it, and just trying to gain something extra out of his car.
Now he's rejoined right behind Tom Chilton and Alan Morrison. Look at these two having their own little battle, and Matt Neal now trying to dive in there himself. He's got down the inside of Tom Chilton, so he gains 1 position, but this will only just get him back into the top 10. Back up front, Ivan Muller has set the fastest lap. He is our race leader. 2nd place now for Warren Hughes here in the MG. Anthony Reid, oh, he looked up a bit there coming into Knickerbrook, and that's put him under pressure from Tim Harvey.
Yeah, Anthony Reid there, I think he just got too much rear brake. Clearly he locked the rear brakes, got the car well out of shape, and now he's having to defend furiously. A bit of that rear bumper there coming off the MG. Obviously Harvey giving it the full treatment on the back.
Paul O'Neill, it's all over for him in this race. That's 3 non-finishes in a row at the beginning of the season. Great disappointment for the Merseysider. Riding on board with Matt Neal. Now he's attacking for 5th position. And that's Tim Harvey right ahead of us through the double apex of Druid. Under the bridge, heading towards Lodge Corner. Tight right-hander coming up. Can he brake later than Tim? Tries to go down the inside. Squeezes past there on the inside. Just about makes it. Nice clean overtake. A quick thank you to Tim behind him. And Matt now up into 5th position. and Tim back down into 6th place. Meanwhile, look at this battle. Aaron Slight, the ex-Superbike star, who switched to car racing full-time now, chasing David Leslie in the Proton, and then right behind him, he's got the little Honda of Andy Prio. So another great battle that's going on, one independent in the middle of 2 factory cars. Look at this battle for 4th place now. Anthony Reid versus Matt Neal, and Matt Neal now trying to go down the inside into Old Hall Corner, but he makes it look so easy, Will.
It does, but we do know the Vauxhall, of course, at this stage of the season is the strongest car. Obviously, MG have made some big improvements since last year, and here we are on board with David Leslie through the chicanes and wildly over those curbs there, and he runs wide. That's where I had one of my biggest ever accidents. That's not a place to run wide.
Oh, and he's got Aaron Slight right alongside him now. Andy Prio just behind in the Honda, and that's allowed the ex-biker to go through. Here is the other battle that's going on up front, though. Muller is race leader, 2nd place the MG, and 3rd place Thompson. So they've all closed up together a bit. And as we're getting to the latter stages of this race, you can see that Warren Hughes in that MG, in 2nd place, is coming under increasing pressure from James Thompson, who wants to get into 2nd and chase after his teammate.
Yeah, something's happened there because clearly Muller had a bit more of a lead before, so he's obviously either got a problem or been held up, allowing the other 2 to catch up on him.
Up towards Druids. This will be their last run through this section of track. Can Hughes hold on to 2nd position? It would be a great result for him and for MG. This car was only just finished off in time for this weekend, all completely new. And look at this, Thompson surely going to try around the outside into the final corner. Oh, he squeezed out, but he can't quite make it. Warren Hughes, there's a little puff of smoke, but he's still in 2nd. Ivan Muller comes through to take the win. Warren holds on to take 2nd position, and James Thompson has to settle for 3rd place. But a hard-fought contest, that one. Ivan Muller taking his first victory of the season. Those MGs proving their worth once again.
Ivan Muller's first win of the season. An excellent 2nd place for Warren Hughes in the MG, James Thompson 3rd, and Matt Neal collecting 4th after a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, it's good because after the unlucky meeting I had at Brandsatch, that gave a bit more confidence. So I'm happy, I make a good start and then I try to control the race, but the 2 last lap was very tough.
Pretty cheesed off, to be honest. I've got it for being... I got the immediate message that it was creepy on the grid, but it wasn't. It was being misaligned on the grid, and my car was positioned too far left. I've voiced my differences with the officials about it because it's okay forming up on the grid, you know, when all the personnel are there. But you come to some of these circuits, and it's got lines for heaps of different racing, and there's more lines on that grid than a Chinese phone book, you know, and they're all rubbed out. And they've said I should line up on a dot, a red dot, which is about the size of a 2p piece. And I've said to the officials, I'll take them back, sit them in a car, and they can pick that red dot out at 20 yards back. So the problem is, it's history, and what's done, you can't turn the clock back.
So, strong stuff then from Matt Neal, seeking a change of fortune in pole position. Muller looks strong in 2nd place again, and in 3rd, Warren Hughes. And that man, Paul O'Neill, moving up to 4th in the grid. Look out for a spectacular race.
We're getting all set for the start of 25 laps here. The feature race at Alton Park, and it's a good start for Matt Neal. Gets away cleanly. Ivan Muller just slotting into 2nd place. He'll try and protect that position from the MG in 3rd position. That's Warren Hughes. He gets through the first corner safely. Paul O'Neill slots in behind him. So we've got the MGs up there once again, but Vauxhall 1-2, and then another Vauxhall in 4th place. Oh, and we've got a problem at the back there. That looks like Gavin Piper's car involved in some sort of incident coming out of Old Hall. We'll take another look at that. Meanwhile, James Thompson gets past Anthony Reid on the Exeter Cascades, the run down to Island Hairpin, and that brings him up into 5th position. Matt Neal is our race leader. Gavin Piper's out of his car, says, what happened?
Yeah, well, here we see it's Annie Templeton and I think Mark Thomas seem to make a contact there, and then Mark Thomas spears across the track to the right and collects poor old Gavin Piper.
Now we're on board with Warren Hughes being attacked for 3rd place by Paul O'Neill.
Yes, just listen to that wonderful V6 of the MG. But O'Neill there carrying a lot more speed out of Druids, what we were talking about earlier. And can he make it stick by carrying that speed into Lodge Corner? And we know the Vauxhall is very good on the brakes. Yes, he can. He gets down the inside. The car looks very stable, and it's a very nice, clean move.
So it's a Vauxhall Astral 1, 2, 3 at the moment, or is it? Because Warren Hughes is coming into the pits. Now, this is the first of the pit stops. Ivan Muller actually in already. The obligatory pit stops that have to be made anytime after lap 5. And Ivan Muller gets a clean stop underway, gets out again. And Muller now has made his pit stop. That means that James Thompson is second behind Matt Neal. And here's third place man Paul O'Neill. Just behind him is the car of Warren Hughes, and then of course the Proton of David Leslie. Then it's Andy Prio in the Honda, and right behind him is Tim Harvey in the Peugeot. On board with Matt Neal now. He's coming in for his obligatory pit stop from the race lead, remember. Crucial stop this one, they've got to get it right. He comes in. Oh, what's he doing? He's in the Honda pit. Don't be there, Matt, that's your pit. What are you doing? Well, finally he gets into the right place. Oh, you can see inside, look at him, he knows he's made a big mistake here.
Yeah, that's quite easy to do in a way. You come in, you're very sort of in some subconscious mode as you come in. But I think the red of the Honda, it was the same colour as his old team, Team Dynamics, and I guess that just subconscious thought, you think, I've got to stop here. But it's a big mistake, he'll probably get a drive-through penalty for that.
Anthony Reid's made his stop. Meanwhile, there's a battle going on for second in the production class. Norman Simon, we're with him. Ooh, and he locks up, nearly hits the back of Mark Fuller-Love.
Okay, Matt, for stopping in the wrong pit, I'm afraid we've got a drive-through penalty. Do you want to take it now while the tyres are cold? Yeah, right as well, mate. It's not unexpected.
Well, it's going to be his second drive-through penalty of the day. He had to do it in the sprint race. Now James Thompson comes in from the lead of this race. He now comes in for his pit stop, and I wonder if he'll be able to get back out ahead of Muller, who's already made his, but it's a bit slow.
Yeah, they dropped a wheel nut there, and that it was a 9.24 second stop. That is slow. It's at least 2 seconds slower than it should have been. And just see the way the wheel spun. Just shows he had no temperature at all in those tyres.
Matt Neal making his drive-through penalty. It's a frustrating day for him.
I'm not racing live easy for myself today, am I? No worries, just keep your mind on the job, focus, and get some lap time too.
There's Anthony Reid retiring with some sort of problem.
Yeah, that's disappointing for the Scots. Oh, and Andy Prio's out of the race as well, the Guernseyman. Oh, look at this battle going on. Matt Neal now trying to get past Warren Hughes. Oh, he's hit him. Oh, into the barrier, down at Knickerbrook, and swings round, rips off the front of the car. Now, that was a pretty hefty impact, I think, and it looks as though today, a horrible day as it's turned out for Matt Neal. Could be all over.
Yeah, here we see Matt Neal on board camera, really close behind Hughes in the MG. He just misses his braking point. Hughes brakes earlier than the Vauxhall. We know the Vauxhall can brake late. Plus, being so close in that slipstream, he will lose some downforce effect, and therefore it will affect the efficiency of his braking.
Oh, and that's Thompson. Thompson's got a left front puncture. From second position, James Thompson is out of this race.
That's extraordinary, that really is. That's very unlucky. Left front, of course, is the hardest tyre to get back to the pits with because you're loading that left front all the way. So going around all those right-hand corners is going to be a real struggle.
So Ivan Muller now out in front. Through Cascades. There's something strange there. Look, there was it sounded like it cut out for a moment.
Yeah, definitely. Muller has got a problem as well. This is the most extraordinary race. I think we saw O'Neill go past there. So O'Neill now has taken the lead. This is the most incredible race.
That's Paul O'Neill in front. You're right. Well, Paul O'Neill, the 22-year-old Merseysider, who's in touring class for the first time this year. You know, he's only been racing for a couple of years, but he's in front now. I'm sure he can't believe it. And in fact, the fans down here at Knickerbrook, all locals here at this racetrack, and he's a local lad as well from Liverpool. Huge cheer for him. Spencer Marsh coming through, leading in the production class. Look at this battle. Warren Hughes versus Tim Harvey. That's for second in the Tourers. O'Neill wins at Alton.
Yes! Yes! We won! Lads, well done, thank you!
Oh, well, very pleased. Fourth place, that's a good performance there for David Leslie in the Proton. He'll be pleased about that, a car that hasn't had much development yet. And Gareth Howell getting his first good point-scoring finish in the touring class. And there's the winner in the production class coming through. Spencer Marshall battle for second. Oh, and it's just Jim Edwards Jr. who snaps it on the line from Norman Simon in the BMW. Great battle all the way to the line there, but delight for the export team. The first ever car racing victory for Paul O'Neill, and he's still shouting about it on the radio. He's still going crazy out there and getting a huge amount of applause from the fans at Alton Park.
Well, you might have guessed that was Paul O'Neill's first win in British touring cars, with crashes, punctures, penalties, quite an emotional experience for other drivers too. Muller's still ahead, pushed by Neil, who stopped at the wrong team in his pit stop. Vauxhall Motorsport lead, pushed now by Export and MG Sport Racing. A day to remember at Alton Park, particularly for Paul O'Neill, who took the feature race for Export.
I was helped along the way, but I mean, I've got to thank Alex and Marvin, everyone, the Chris, Nick, everyone. Just did a fantastic job. We went out there. I just wanted to finish the race, and I've won it. When I see Muller breaking down, I'm really radioed in and said, shall I pass Muller or shall I wait behind him? He's doing about 20 mile an hour. What am I going to do? As if I'm going to wait behind him. I just didn't look at my pit box. It said P1. I knew it did, so I just let it go. But I can't believe it. I was doing about 12 mile an hour on the last lap. Nearly went off about 3 times.
I've been years with Team Dynamics and they're always red. And then the Vauxhall team's red. And I just came in, red, there we go, we're in. And then I saw Honda written across his chest. Oh, Christ.
Down at Thruxton in the Hampshire countryside for rounds 5 and 6 of the championship. With Paul O'Neill still pinching himself, Matt Neal will be happy to identify his pit stop team. Nevertheless, it had been a good start to the season for the Export team, but for the sprint race in round 5 of the championship, the grid had a menacing look. Vauxhall first and second, Ivan Muller followed by James Thompson, with Matt Neal back in fourth. The MG sports drivers Anthony Reid and Warren Hughes were both handily placed. And in sixth place, Andy Prio in the Honda. And Glory Boy from Alton Park, O'Neill managed 8th.
It's round 5 of the Green Flag MSA British Touring Car Championship. Who's it going to be, Thompson or Muller off the line? Best of all, well, Ivan Muller makes a good start there from pole position. James Thompson not so quick away. Now I wonder if Matt Neal can move up a little bit here, trying to come around the outside as they go through Allard's corner.
There's some yellow flags in the back there, Ben.
Oh yeah, we've got a car, 2 cars, 3 cars involved, I think. Graham Saunders, there's Dave Allen in the Honda Civic Type R as well, off at the side of the track as the leaders come into the complex now. It's Muller ahead of Thompson. Oh, that's Warren Hughes. Warren Hughes completely sideways. I think he might have had a little bit of help there from Tim Harvey, but what a recovery.
A great save there by Hughes, but bully boy tactics by Harvey. And there's Templeton there. That's as a result of that incident we saw with the yellow flags.
So Ivan Muller leads. There's James Thompson in second. It's Anthony Reid in third place in the MG. And then it's Matt Neal. Bit of oil down there at Goodwood Corner.
And here we see the replay of the start there. It's a typical start line incident. 4 cars trying to go into one. Templeton there, 2 Alfa Romeos of Saunders and Blenko, plus catching Dave Allen in the Honda and Simon in the BMW.
Oh, and Phil Bennett's got off. Phil Bennett sliding, or has he got off? No, he saved it.
That's a really scary place to lose it at Goodwood. 125 miles an hour with a pack bearing down on you.
Now look at the battle up front. Muller on the inside, James Thompson on the outside, and Anthony Reid trying to join in the MG there as well. Matt Neal in 4th position. It's all getting so close up at the chicane. Now look at this battle going on here in the production class, and there's Gavin Piper in the red Alfa just sneaking ahead of Peter Kate. Muller trying to find his way past Tom Boardman, and this has allowed James Thompson to get into the battle as well. Oh dear, this is all looking a bit tight through the complex.
Yeah, it is a problem when you catch up the B-class cars. Obviously they're a lot slower, and it can hold you up, but it means it gives an advantage to the cars following like Tomo.
Now look at Tomo. James Thompson in second place, now really challenging Muller. Muller turns in a little bit wide into Goodwood, trying it. Oh, and he's got it all crossed up. He's sideways, and that's given Thompson a chance to get alongside him. Can he get in front towards Church Corner? High speed through here, and he is in front and has got the line as they turn in.
Yeah, that was very unlucky for Muller. He got sort of out of shape almost from the complex there when Tomo put him under pressure after they got tangled up with those B-class cars. He got wide coming out of Goodwood, got onto the cement dust, and then hung on with that big slide. Did a great job holding onto it.
But look at Muller, he's coming back at him, under braking for the chicane. He's trying to go in, take the speed. Oh, he's gone in a bit too quick. Can he get it in? Yes, he turns in, goes wide on the exit. Thompson comes back on the outside, and James Thompson retakes the lead. Fantastic racing.
That's absolutely great entertainment. Two factory drivers, teammates, having the most enthralling race, really keeping us entertained, and they haven't even had any contact yet at all.
So let's take a look behind them. Matt Neal's got in amongst the traffic of the production cars as well. That's Matt Neal there. Looks as though he's finding his way through reasonably neatly. Remember, Anthony Reid a little further behind. Oh, the leaders have hit each other. Muller's hit the back of James Thompson. He somehow manages to get it back together. But, well, you said there was no contact, Will, but there was certainly a bit of contact that time.
Yeah, I think James was a bit defensive going into the complex there, lost a bit of speed, and I think Ivan Muller just thought there was a chance of there getting down the inside into Cobb, but the door was slammed shut very quickly.
Well, Muller's dropped back a bit. Let's take another look.
Here we are on board with Muller. Thompson there, very slow into the first part of the complex. Muller sees his chance. Again, tries to get down the inside of Cobb, but across comes Thompson. Thompson gets into a massive slide, but saves it, and Muller, unfortunately, has to settle for second.
So, big battle going on up front, and this is the battle as well for third place in the production class. Andy Prio's got into the middle of that battle, and Andy Prio running in a strong 5th place in the Honda, remember, but he's got to fight his way through this traffic as neatly as possible. There's Reid in 4th position in the MG, still trying to chase after Matt Neal, and both of them locking rear brakes into the complex. Thompson has pulled away a little bit from Muller. Look, Muller really losing a bit of time under pressure from Matt Neal. Oh, in fact, he's gone wide. He's gone right off the track, and he's heading for the tyre. It doesn't seem to be anything he can do about that. And in fact, it looks as though that right front suspension may well have been broken. Here are the leaders in the production class. James Kay versus Gavin Piper, with the overall race leader James Thompson not too far behind them as he comes up to lap them all, and Kay's had a little tap there from Piper. Piper goes for it. It doesn't work. He makes contact, and it's Piper who ends up spinning out.
Yeah, yet again we've seen an incident there at Cobb. It's the classic case of thinking you can get through, but the door just gets slammed shut. And in this case, Piper lost out big time.
So James Thompson fought his way to the front, getting past his teammate Ivan Muller. And since then, it's all been pretty easy for the Englishman, who is going to take his 2nd win of the season and the first 2-time winner of the 2002 British Touring Car Championship. Just has to get cleanly out of the chicane. There's a good battle still going on behind him. Look, Matt Neal and Anthony Reid almost together again across the line. 3rd place for Reid in the end. 4th place, and that's their best result so far for Honda. Andy Prio flashing the lights as he comes across the line.
James Thompson's 2nd win of the season, but what about that Vauxhall teamwork with Ivan Muller? Still, a win is a win, and Ivan Muller would get his chance at Thruxton.
I thought we got the pace for them to start with, and then they just seemed to get the hammer down and go. Cheers, fella. And then I thought I got the legs on Anthony. He made a bit of a mistake out the back, slipped through. Then he seemed to get a second wind and find a bit of pace from somewhere. I was watching what he was up to, because he tried a few stunts down here, and unfortunately I've been around a bit too long for those ones.
You know, he's been at this game for about 10 years. He knows all the tricks in the book, and we know each other very well, so there's not many sly ones you can get past Matt these days.
So the first 3 places on the grid were exactly as they were in the sprint race. Ivan Muller, James Thompson and Matt Neal in that order. Muller then with a point to prove, and Anthony Reid well placed to improve on a good 3rd in the sprint.
So the cars now heading up towards the chicane. Rolling start, remember, for the feature race. All the points count the same for sprint and feature race. 15 points on offer to the winner here. I wonder who's it going to be. Ivan Muller, disappointed in that sprint race. Can he make up for it in this 2nd race? What about Thompson? Can he now make it a double victory at Thruxton here today? We're all set for the rolling start, and Muller gets his foot down. Thompson chasing after him, but remember, Thompson's car quite a lot heavier than Ivan Muller's, so the Frenchman should have the advantage here. Matt Neal is in 3rd, and Anthony Reid in 4th place as they come through the quick left-hander and approach the complex for the first time. You can see Reid diving to the inside, trying to get past Matt Neal straight away. These two have been tussling all afternoon in the first race, and now the second one as well. Colin Turkington battling there with Alan Morrison a little further on down the field. Morrison runs a little bit wide. Oh, it's a bit tight. Tom Chilton getting a little bit of a tap there from Phil Bennett as they come through the last part of the complex. Our race leader's already coming through Noble though, and it's Ivan Muller with the advantage. James Thompson trying to settle back. Oh, and we've got a spinner at the top. That's Tom Chilton. Oh, and he's been hit by one of the yellow Hondas. A big accident at the back.
Yes, that's happened at Noble. Very quick corner. Here we are on board with Marsh following Fuller Love. And Fuller Love there just misses Chilton. Only just, but it's Marsh who hits Chilton. Very unlucky. It's often when you're coming through the pack and there's an incident in front of you, you get unsighted. You just don't know which way the car in front of you is going to spin out.
Now here's the battle for second in the production class between these two teammates, Peter Kate and Jim Edwards Jr. And they're running very close together as they come out of the complex, up towards the left-hander, and there's a bit of smoke. Oh, and Kate's in trouble. He's lost it. The back end gets away from him and he's on the grass.
Yeah, very strange. Looks like some sort of technical problem, possibly some problem with the engine, and the oil got onto the rear tyres and just spun him round.
Into the pits comes race leader Ivan Muller. Now remember, James Thompson had a pretty good stop. This is crucial because this could decide the outcome of the race. Ivan Muller, will it be a faster stop, slower stop? It's a slightly longer stop than James Thompson had, so it's crucial as he comes out of the pit. He'll be coming out and he should just about get ahead of James Thompson. Meanwhile, look at this, Tom Boardman in a battle here with James Kay, and James Kay dropped right to the back of the production class in that incident involving Tom Chilton, now fighting his way back up. Now we're on board with Matt Neal. He is now our race leader.
Okay, Matt, pit lane speed, focus on your pit lane speed. We've got an arrow in the pit lane for you with a blue board with the first pit crew in the pit lane at the moment. Yep, first crew in the pit lane speed.
The team there will be very definite about where he should stop in the pits this time.
Of course, he made that big mistake at Alton Park when he stopped at the wrong pits, but there's seemingly a problem with the tyre, the wheel not coming off very quickly at all.
The yellow strip torn off at the back there indicates he's made his pit stop. He comes back out again. Just comes past Warren Hughes, who's in the pits down at the end of the pit lane. Matt Neal rejoins, speed limit for a while, and then he can get off it and surges away under acceleration out of the pit lane.
But a very slow pit stop there, 9.84 seconds, slower even than Ivan Muller.
Anthony Reid is now our race leader. There he is, yellow strip still on the side door, so that indicates he hasn't made his stop, but his teammate's still in the pits. So they've got a real problem with that car, and this will of course drop him well down the order. It's not a good weekend for the Geordie. Warren Hughes, better luck next time. Here are the two Vauxhalls. They've rejoined in 9th and 10th places as we wait for everyone to make their pit stop. But the important thing is Muller is ahead of Thompson, so despite that slightly slower stop, he got out in front. What's going on here? Big squeeze. Oh, and contact with Reid. Turkington. Matt Neal is out of the way. Prio just avoids it. Oh, let's have a look.
And here we are on board with Matt Neal. Gets badly bulked there by Steve Wood. Eventually gets back on the par, but he's lost a massive amount of momentum. You watch on the left-hand side. There's Reid. Gets fantastic run out of the corner. Starts to squeeze Neal, but Neal has nowhere to go because Turkington's come up the inside.
The final lap for the two Vauxhalls out front, and Ivan Muller looks all set to take his second win of the season. James Thompson took his earlier in the sprint race, and now it's Ivan Muller's turn. Well, it's been a close battle between these two, but I think that Thompson has decided just to settle behind him in the last stages. Gareth Howell's a lap down there in the yellow car, but a good race from him nonetheless, and it's a 1-2 for Vauxhall Motorsport. Here's that battle still going on for 4th place. Matt Neal in 3rd, Tim Harvey takes 4th, Andy Prio finishes in 5th place in the Honda Civic. But nobody could touch these two here at Thruxton today. Ivan Muller taking the victory from Thompson. Here's the winner in the production class, it's James Kay, and he fought his way up into the lead there. Alan Blenko finishing in 2nd place.
Ivan Muller, James Thompson and Matt Neal 3rd, exactly as the drivers had lined up for the grid for that race. And just look at how these three stood in the championship, all three on 59 points. James Kay beginning to move away in the production class, and Vauxhall threatening to run away with the Manufacturers' Championship. Relief then for Ivan Muller and Vauxhall piling on the points.
To go out after the pit stop with the front left tire very cold, he don't like, he's screaming, you can hear him. And 10 laps to the end, I had a water leak, so my water temperature was 120, so I have to lift off. And yeah, I can reach the end. I'm pleased with that.
The man was running 66 kilos lighter, so I was keen in the early stages to try and keep with him, and then hopefully try and get on the podium. But yeah, it was great to be second. It's fantastic. I had a really good weekend this one.
With Ivan Muller, James Thompson and Matt Neal locked together on 59 points, the Touring Car Championship needed a track to sort the leaders out. And with a little help from the Silverstone weather, we found it. Matt Neal managed pole position for the sprint with his nearest rivals, James Thompson and Ivan Muller, back in 5th and 7th. Warren Hughes took 2nd behind Matt Neal.
So we're all set now, the end of the formation lap, and a chance for the drivers to see just how slippery it is out there. And in fact, Ivan Muller's decided to come in and switch onto slick tyres. Now, Chris, this means he's going to have to start right at the back.
Well, that's a very brave move as well. It's very slippery on the racetrack, and Carl Breeze has actually spun off on the warm-up lap as well. So as the cars line up, you can just see how slippery that track is.
So what's going to happen? Reed is also on slick, so's Thompson. Away they go, Warren Hughes and Matt Neal from the front row. A very even start. Paul O'Neill in 3rd. Reed has disappeared from his 2nd row start, getting lots of wheel spin on his slick racing tyres, and that doesn't get him away well at all. Up front it is Matt Neal, who just gets into Copse Corner ahead. Warren Hughes trying to go with him. Good start from Gareth Howell. He's currently running in 5th place behind the Honda of Alan Morrison.
Well, you can see the spray being kicked up. Visibility very poor for the midfield runners, and particularly bad for the guys at the back in the production cars.
But it's the tall man out in front, Matt Neal, taking advantage of that pole position. Warren Hughes coming through. Gareth Howell's trying to get past the Honda. The yellow MG just saw him trying to squeeze past into 4th position there. And if you look back, you can see he's done it. Good move there for the Team Atomic Kitten driver. And in fact, Dan Eves and Tim Harvey in the Peugeots also trying to make their presence felt. Now it's Matt Neal up front, trying to control the pace of these slippery conditions. Warren Hughes right behind him. It's very slow through Abbey.
Well, this is the first time the drivers have hit the Abbey hairpin at racing speed. Those two have judged it just right. Very, very difficult to judge your braking distances correctly in these very slippery conditions. Now into bridge, almost flat out in the dry. It definitely isn't in the wet though.
No, all fun and games coming into the complex section. Look how far back Reed was there on his slick tyres. He's nowhere. These guys are all on wet, and it's working for them up front at the moment. Matt Neal coming through, Gareth Howell, Tim Harvey taking a very wide line there coming through Priory Corner as we see our leaders come through. There's Matt Neal. Oh, and in fact, we've got some cars off in the background. That is Gareth Howell and Tim Harvey. Well, we said Harvey was going wide. He wasn't meant to go that wide.
Well, I think he followed Howell off there. It's very easy to do that when you're just following the car in front. But look at these two.
Yeah, look at Warren Hughes in the MG. Now on the right-hand side there, trying to find a way past the Vauxhall Astra of Matt Neal. And this is a great battle. Look, you're looking right back from the leader at the car of Warren Hughes. He's got the St George's Cross on his wing mirrors this weekend in support of the English football team, but he wants to get in front here, up towards Beckett's Corner, might try and sneak through here. It's always a bit of a tricky place, and he follows Matt Neal through this section.
Well, don't forget, Matt Neal is running 18 kilos of success ballast. Now, it doesn't sound a lot, but it does make a difference to the acceleration of these cars out of the slower corners. But also it means that the drivers have to brake a little bit earlier. They're stopping a bit more weight. It does look as though Matt Neal is struggling a little bit for grip with his car.
Now further back production class, James Kay's going well in that. He's got the 2 Barwell Astras between him and Kelvin Burt, who's next up in the class. They're all fighting their way through the spray. So far, so good. Not too many dramas. Look at how far back Ivan Muller is. Hasn't really made up much ground as he made that switch to slick tyres. Anthony Reid and James Thompson are both mired there in the midfield. And we've got a battle here going on. Spencer Marsh gets hit by Tom Boardman. Oh, and does he get it back? That's quite a bit of correction going on. Bumps over the grass. Yes, he has saved it, but he's lost a lot of places. As a result, there goes Ivan Muller past. Tim Harvey's car just being pulled out of the gravel trap on the outside of Brooklands. Right, here comes our race leader, Matt Neal, still under pressure from Warren Hughes. Now, Warren has to think about this a little bit.
Well, he can see Matt Neal struggling for a grip a little bit there, but he's taken a wider line into that hairpin. He's certainly coming off the corner much quicker than Matt Neal in front of him. Now, coming up towards Bridge Corner, Warren Hughes is accelerating quicker in the MG. Tucks in behind Matt Neal for the time being, though, and now he's looking at the inside coming up into Priory.
Oh, and he's done it, he's got through, he's on the inside, made that move beautifully, and Warren Hughes outbreaks Matt Neal to take the lead in the MG. Well, we haven't seen anything other than an Astra win a race so far this season. Could this be the chance for Warren Hughes? Never won a British touring car race either, but still some way to go in this race, and these conditions can catch out even the most experienced drivers. That's Tom Boardman, that left front's not working very well, and another production class car in trouble here. This is Graham Saunders, who's had a spin up at Beckett's by the looks of things, but hopefully without any damage, just taking out the odd cone or two and rejoining the track. And meanwhile, look at the battle now for second place. Paul O'Neill really beginning to put his teammate under pressure. Matt Neal, and surely Matt's not going to be able to hold off much longer here.
Well, Matt again ran wide in the apex there of Luffield Corner. Paul O'Neill's tucked in behind as he goes through Woodcote past the pits now, but look at the extra acceleration the other egg car has as he goes past the pits. O'Neill's pulled out, easily outbreaks Matt Neal into Copse.
So the lighter car of Paul O'Neill, using the fact that he's not carrying success ballast.
Andy Prio takes the inside line. David Leslie following there very forcefully.
Mark Thomas in the production class gets a little nudge as David Leslie comes past, and Leslie can feel a chance of getting a podium finish here. Here comes Warren Hughes. The Geordie has not put a wheel wrong in this sprint race at Silverstone, and surely he's now going to take MG's first victory of the season and show those Vauxhalls that they don't have it all their own way. Behind him, the battles are still continuing, but Warren's just concentrating on picking his way through the final corner. Now here's David Leslie. Oh, and Leslie's had a run on Andy Prio, and he's got into third place, and there's Paul O'Neill only just ahead. So O'Neill heading for second, but the winner, no doubt about it, it's Warren Hughes. And there is delight down there for the MG Sport crew. Coming through to take second, O'Neill. Leslie takes third. Prio has to settle for fourth after a well-driven race.
So the first non-Vauxhall win of 2002. MG's first win of the season, and Paul O'Neill was steadily making a name for himself. Third place gave David Leslie's Proton their first podium. Celebrations all round, especially for Warren Hughes and MG.
I'm amazed at how well the car was. We thought we might have a bit of a problem with it raining at the last minute, but just shows what a good chassis the MG ZS is. It's just an amazing car.
I kept an eye on the people behind me and I thought, they're not going to catch me, I'll be all right. And then next minute, I was catching him and I catch Matt and I thought, what am I going to do now? Because he's my teammate. I thought, I can't do this. It's like being on television. So down the gears, went down the inside, and I went past and I was like, that was fun. And then it just kept going, and then they were catching me at the end, and I just tried to look for water to go on the tyres, and then it was just fantastic. Great result for Egg.
The boys have worked hard since last race, and you've just seen the results. Absolutely fantastic. Very pleased. Petra Senior brought on, fantastic job.
The day looked bright for MG as Anthony Reid claimed pole position for round 8 and the feature race. Paul O'Neill was up there again in second, with MG's Warren Hughes and Vauxhall's James Thompson battling it out for 4th and 5th. Matt Neal back in 7th place.
So the grid makes its way round on the formation lap behind the pace car. Remember, this is a rolling start for the 25-lap feature race. And we've got the obligatory pit stop to deal with in this one. Now, it's not raining this time. It is quite overcast, cloudy, but everybody on slick tyres. And let's hope we get some good, clean racing. It's Anthony Reid on pole position, remember. His teammate Warren Hughes starting on the second row of the grid. Paul O'Neill on the front row. Aaron Slight, the less experienced as a touring car driver. What's he going to do from that second row starting position? Here we go, the lights have changed. Great getaway for Anthony Reid from pole position. Paul O'Neill slots into second. Aaron Slight into third, and behind Aaron Slight, there's a whole gaggle of cars fighting for position. James Thompson's in that group. Oh, there's a bit of smoke at the back. Everybody's jostling for position. And here we are on board with Aaron Slight in third.
Well, Aaron Slight just moves to the right-hand side of the road off the racing line just to try and block that car from getting past That's James Thompson taking the outside line into Beckett's. Now the inside line, lost the place there.
Now James Thompson continues to apply the pressure. That is the gap. We're looking from the race leader Anthony Reid back at Thompson, and they're both coming into the pits fairly early. It's only lap 5, but both coming into the pits for their obligatory pit stop. 2 tyres will be changed, and they have to come through, of course, on the speed limit. This, Chris, is going to be a battle between the teams.
Well, this is great stuff now. The pressure really on the MG team to turn that pit stop around quickly and make sure that Anthony Reid doesn't lose a place.
Good stop, slid a little bit, but stops in exactly the right place. Now we look from Thompson's car. Look down there, can you see Reid's car? Yes, you can, and it does get away in front again. So the 2 teams very evenly matched in the pit lane.
Very, very good stuff there from both of the pit crews.
Now James Kay on the left trying to attack Kelvin Burt. Kelvin, there's a bit of contact there between the 2 of them. Bowen Kay's gone sideways, and he gets into a big slide, spins it right round. I think Kelvin Burt survived. Yes, he's gone wide, but he's got back on again, and that was the battle for the lead.
Well, here we're on board with James Kay. Just listen out there, he's just changed down a gear, locked his fronts up as he went into Cops there and ran into the side of the Alfa Romeo. And here we have a tank slapper spinning around 360 degrees. And there goes the Alfa in the lead, and James Kay gathers it all up and is off.
And Hughes is in.
Correct my driver's side mirror for me as well.
Warren wanting his driver's side mirror readjusted. It's been knocked askew there. It's put back in place. Good clean stop once again for the MG crew. That gets Warren Hughes out, but you know, he's got a lot of success ballast on that car, and he does seem to be struggling a bit in this feature race. This is our new race leader, but he's just running wide. Oh, Paul O'Neill, get yourself back on track, because you've got to look after the race lead with the other guys coming in. Dan Eves also making his pit stop at this point. There's been some damage there. And look, Paul O'Neill's now being caught again by his teammate Matt Neal. In fact, he's waving him through.
Well, obviously Paul O'Neill struggling a little bit for grip after that off he had there at Copse. Is letting Matt Neal go by, slowing down on the left-hand side. Matt Neal easily takes that place on the inside there. Good teamwork.
So Matt Neal now takes over the lead of this race. These 2 have not yet stopped, remember, but these 2 have. Now they're battling for 10th place, having made their pit stop, but this is a crucial battle, because when everybody else has made their stop, this could well be the battle for the lead again. Anthony Reid versus Thompson, and Thompson's got past. He finds a way through, up towards Beckett's corner. Reid now maybe can have another little look down the inside. Oof. Oh, there's contact, but somehow Thompson keeps it together.
Well, very, very disciplined driving there from Anthony Reid. I think he could have easily taken James Thompson out there, but he just held back a slight touch. Very professional driving.
Here we are, Paul O'Neill versus Matt Neal. Matt Neal trying to go down the inside into Abbey, locks up the brakes, sneaks through on the inside. That would be embarrassing if they'd hit each other.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time teammates have taken each other out, but they managed to get through unscathed. Very good driving there from Matt Neal.
Oh, it's a bit slippery out there. He's got his windscreen wipers. That's Tom Boardman. Well, not only his windscreen wipers, he's all over the place.
James Thompson there just using his left foot on the brake to help him just check the speed a bit going through Bridge Corner. Unusual rally driving type technique there. James Thompson also rallying this year, but doing extremely well now in the British Touring Car Championship on the tarmac at Silverstone.
He is indeed doing extremely well. He's heading for his 3rd win of the season, and this should also put him in front in the championship chase. Remember, he had engine problems at the start of the year. That might come back to haunt him, but for now it's all good news here at Silverstone as James Thompson takes victory in round 8 of the series. The feature race is all his, and Anthony Reid comes through to take 2nd place for MG. So a good run for MG here today, a win and a 2nd place. 3rd position for Matt Neal ahead of his teammate Paul O'Neill, and Tim Harvey in the Peugeot, the winning independent in this race.
Normal service resumed then as Vauxhall claim yet another win with James Thompson. That put him a precious 4 points clear of Matt Neal, while Ivan Muller has lost some ground. James Kay was still dominating the production class, but Vauxhall's domination had been checked somewhat at Silverstone, with Warren Hughes' victory and Anthony Reid's 2nd for MG. But it was Vauxhall who was celebrating after a hard day at the office.
It was quite difficult in the early stages. Anthony had a fair old pace on, so I had to get my head down and try and catch him up. The guys did a great job at the pit stop. It was very evenly matched. We just hunted him down and overtook him.
I really gave it my best shot, and I had an incentive to do so because my teammate showed me up in the first race by winning, so there was pressure on to win that second race. It was looking good before the pit stop. I could keep James behind me. The car felt great. Came in, excellent pit stop, got me back out in the lead, effectively on the track, but the car never felt quite as good as it had been before the pit stop. So James was just a shade quicker.
This was the weekend when British touring cars turned Irish. Rounds 9 and 10 were held at Mondello Park, 30 minutes drive from Dublin. Perhaps not at the speed these guys drive. And it was Yvan Muller who set the pace in qualifying for the sprint race in Ireland. Muller was anxious to gain ground on his teammate James Thompson, who was right behind him on the grid. Paul O'Neill represented Export with 3rd position, with Matt Neal on 5th.
It's going to be a little bit tricky out there this afternoon. Weather conditions have been changing all weekend. Let's see what happens in the sprint. Problems already, I'm afraid, for Aaron Slight. He had problems in qualifying, and he's still got some sort of electronic trouble there. He's pushed away. We're all set for the start of round 9 of the championship. Here we go. Good start for Yvan Muller. Gets away well. O'Neill a bit slow, and Matt Neal certainly pushing. Further down there, you could see the BMW of Norman Simon. Look up front, Gareth Howell going around the outside of James Thompson and trying to go around the outside of Yvan Muller. Neil and Leslie battling. Oh, and that's Phil Bennett on the grass. So's Carl Breeze. Where do we look next? Up front, it looks like Yvan Muller's got away, but Gareth Howell definitely into second.
Yeah, that was a great start by Gareth Howell. I mean, a rookie this season, and obviously first time probably at this circuit, certainly in a touring car, and he's driving his socks off. But there, look how wide he gets into that turn there as the car gets very loose as he changes down the second and gets hard on the brakes.
Well, Yvan Muller's made exactly the brake that he needs. Remember, this car's pretty light. Minus 24 kilos after all his problems at Silverstone last time out. He's determined to make up for that awful meeting he had in Northamptonshire. But Gareth Howell in second, holding off James Thompson, the points leader in the series.
But of course, James Thompson running with the most weight on the car, did a fantastic job in qualifying to get the car up there. This is a tight circuit, and here we see on board with Yvan Muller, the poleman, and there you see O'Neill very slow away, and Matt Neal gets away, a great dive there through the middle, pushes Leslie aside, and now on the outside you'll see Gareth Howell. There's a very interesting line round the outside, and there in the background Matt Neal leading on David Leslie and getting up to 4th place.
So great move that from Gareth Howell to get into 2nd place ahead of James Thompson, the 21-year-old from Bromley in Kent, first season in the Tourers. But look back down the field, good battles. Alan Morrison in the Honda going well in front of a whole group, and then Norman Simon in the BMW leading in the production class. But here is our race leader. It is the Frenchman Yvan Muller, won both races at Mondello last year, and now looking set to open up this advantage. Oh, we've got problems for Mark Thomas. Something bad has happened there. Let's take a look in the background. There he is running wide.
Yeah, well here he comes out of the paddock bend, and there just gets a wheel out on that outside curve, just loses the grip, and around the back comes, and unfortunately straight into the barriers.
Battle for 7th here. Alan Morrison with Tim Harvey right behind, and then it's Warren Hughes and Anthony Reid. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact there between Harvey and Morrison. Really getting a little bit physical now. What's going to happen? Harvey's got the inside line, and Morrison trying to fend him off, but he can't.
No, Morrison got compromised there, unfortunately. He just got the car in the wrong place. Harvey did a great job there, putting a lot of pressure on Morrison, and therefore was able to force his car, the Peugeot, down the inside of the Honda. But as a result, Morrison's now lost 3 places.
Battle for 2nd in the production class. Peter Kate with Mark Fullerlove. And look, just behind that, it is Gavin Piper trying to go around the outside of Jim Edwards Jr. Now, Piper started at the back of the grid along with James Kay. So that's brilliant. He's really moving up, and he's up to 4th position in class already. Now we're riding with James Thompson in the battle for 2nd place with Gareth Howell.
And just look at the pressure Thompson is putting on Howell. Look at the lines he's taking. He's turning into the corners a lot earlier, and he's certainly turning a lot earlier into that corner as he gets down inside of Howell. Howell leaves the door wide open, and Thompson takes his opportunity.
So we have the 2 Vauxhall Motorsport cars running 1st and 2nd now. Yvan Muller, look back there, we can see James Thompson in a safe 2nd place. So Gareth Howell still in a very strong 3rd position. And up into fourth now is Matt Neal. He's just gone past Leslie.
And here we see the replay there. Going into Sport Island turn, he gets onto the brakes very late. We know the Vauxhall's good on the brakes. Matt Neal looked very strong there. He just dives down the inside, compromises Leslie and gets the run out of the corner. Thanks very much, he says.
Quick thank you indeed. And the two Hondas are now hard at battle. On the inside there, Alan Morrison. On the outside, it's Andy Prio trying to find way past his teammate. And we've got Warren Hughes in behind him as well. Dan Eves in the Peugeot. It's all getting very close and tight between these guys. Prio just getting ahead of his teammate. Well, there's Norman Simon. He's leading in the production class in the BMW. He's had a couple of wins already this season. He's opened up quite a healthy advantage in class. Now we're on board with Matt Neal, and now he's trying to find a way past Gareth Howell in third.
Yeah, just see that, Gareth Howell getting on the brakes and getting the car snaking as he just tries to turn the car into that second gear corner. Matt Neal, though, into Sport Island. Yet again, he gets past the car. Last time it was David Leslie. This time it's Gareth Howell.
Well, he's very good into there, isn't he, on the brakes. And Matt Neal making the most of the Astra Coupe. That puts him up into third position behind Ivan Muller and James Thompson. Good drive this from Matt Neal, but on board with James Kay. Now watching the battle for second in production class, Mark Fullerlove and Gavin Piper just ahead of Kay. Oh, and Piper gives Fullerlove a bit of a push there.
And of course Piper's got to be very careful. He had a one race ban after the incident at Thruxton when he was out for pushing off James Kay, so he's going to have to be a very careful boy today.
He is. Battle for second, James Thompson, Matt Neal, then it's Howell in fourth. Battle for fifth here between David Leslie in the Proton, trying to defend from Paul O'Neill. And look at David Leslie's passenger side window. It's almost falling onto the tarmac.
Yes, that's normally an offence which would get the black flag, but I guess because it's on the outside of the circuit, possibly the clerk of the course hasn't seen it.
Well, he's probably seen Mark Fullerlove walking away from his Peugeot, another DNF to add to his tally this year. Look at this battle. Oh, and Thompson's indicating he's allowing Matt Neal to go into second place. Well, he must have some sort of problem with his car to allow Matt to go through. He's gone through safely. Oh, and on the right, that was Muller. That was Muller. Matt Neal suddenly leading this race. And from being in third place, Muller's got a problem. Our race leader is Matt Neal, James Thompson. Oh, battle for third, Howell versus O'Neill. And they've gone right out to the edge. And look at Leslie. Leslie's nipped through on the inside there. And David Leslie in the Proton moves up. Howell's definitely got some sort of problem.
Yeah, so we're on board here. I just think O'Neill probably just didn't have enough of his car in front of Howell and just tried to turn into the corner, took Howell's line and sort of a racing incident really, and they clashed. And obviously Howell has suffered some sort of terminal damage and he's out of the race. Very unlucky, lost third place.
Matt Neal, though, looks set for victories on the last lap of this sprint race. James Thompson keeps the pressure on, but I don't think he's managing to do anything on this last lap to get back past Matt Neal. It's going to be 1-2 for Vauxhall and a third place for Proton. Matt Neal's driven superbly. Of course, it's helped him that Ivan Muller went out of the race after he was dominating the early stages. Neal wins, James Thompson takes second place, and David Leslie comes through, delighted to take third place. That's his third podium of the season.
But it was Matt Neal who took the highest step on the podium, and with Ivan Muller out of the points, James Thompson got a vital second place. Matt Neal then stepped up for what might have been considered an unexpected victory.
I was hoping for a podium just in that one, so just pick up some points, and I thought, well, it was Ivan's race really, but I'm not going to give it back. We needed that one.
Yeah, I was quite quick. I do the best lap of the race. I was second lead of the race, and I just at that point I was decided to lift off a bit the throttle, to slow down a little bit my speed, and reach the end of the race. But again, didn't happen.
James Thompson grabbed pole for the feature race, but poor old Colin Turkington on his home ground went down with food poisoning, so second position lay empty. Matt Neal could have profited from that, or perhaps Turkington's atomic kitten partner, Gareth Howell, who was in fourth.
Well, it's tricky conditions down there on the grid at the moment as the cars line up. We've just had a shower, Will. That makes the tyre choice quite tricky indeed. Now, some of the front runners, I think, are still on slicks. Thompson's still on slicks. One or two of the others have already changed onto wets.
Now, of course, the other thing is the drivers, a lot of these drivers don't have experience of this circuit in the wet. So it's sometimes circuits change their lines. You know, you've got a different line round, perhaps you take an outside line round a corner. And there you can see the dry part of the circuit where the cars are standing. You can see how fresh that shower is. So it's going to be a bit of a voyage of exploration for some of these drivers.
Coming down to the first corner, but you can see how much wetter it is even down there. I wonder what James Thompson's thinking now, coming around in pole position for this race, but of course now seeing that it is very slippery.
Bring him straight in. I can hear you, we're just discussing, hang on.
You bringing him in now?
Yeah.
Remember what happened with Ivan at Silverstone? You get right at the back of everyone and you just lose so much time following all the production cars.
Jimmy, can you...
Well, interesting discussion, of course, similar to the sprint race at Silverstone, where Muller came in and put slicks on. But this, of course, the feature race, they will have to make a tyre change anyway.
Yes, and so they've got to make that within a window between 5 and 18 laps. But I think actually the interesting here is we know that the Vauxhall team usually makes some very good calls, but obviously a bit of confusion here coming in and changing onto wets.
Yes, this is the end of the first of 2 formation laps. They've given them 2 formation laps to get used to the conditions, and in fact both Thompson and Matt Neal deciding to come into the pits and put the wet tyres on. Well, that's going to make life difficult. They'll have to start behind everybody else on the track, but behind everyone. Here comes the safety car. Oh, and Gareth Howell's deciding to change tyres as well. So Anthony Reid, who was 5th, now effectively has pole position for the start of this race, and he will lead them round. Remember, it's a rolling start, and he gets on the gas as he comes out of Dunlop Corner and leads Paul O'Neill across the line in 2nd place, Alan Morrison in 3rd, but it's tricky conditions. Let's watch them all down to Hewlett-Packard Corner.
And of course it takes more than 2 laps to warm these wet tyres up, and they've got to be very careful. And there you see Morrison and Chilton both get their braking points wrong, run wide on the grass and into the gravel, so they've lost a lot of time.
Gareth Howell still to get going. Now he does. He came in, of course, to change tyres. That's really going to hurt his efforts as he tries to move back up the field. Now, Anthony Reid is our race leader. Paul O'Neill in 2nd. Phil Bennett's running well in 3rd place. Tim Harvey is in 4th. And then we've got the Honda of Alan Morrison being chased already by Ivan Muller. Now, Muller started down in 12th, well, but watch his charge as James Thompson also having to come from the back.
Of course, Thompson's got a lot to do to get past his traffic. And there in front, Saunders just loses it into that tricky turn 3.
Watch this battle in the production class now. James Kay versus Mark Fullerlove. Fullerlove went out in the sprint race, remember. Now let's see what he can do. Oh, Kay gets it out of shape this time. Not common to see him make a mistake like that. Fullerlove trying to get alongside.
Yeah, the car gets so loose there as you come up that rise in turn 3, as you just change down. And as you change down, the front of the car just noses forward a bit and it unsettles the rear. And that's what you're seeing happening there with the Honda.
Now back to the leaders, and Ivan Muller has caught Anthony Reid. He is absolutely flying. Oh, and he's got down the inside into the first corner. A bit of bumping and boring going on. Squeezes Reid out, gives him room again. Now into the left-hander at turn 2. Oh, Muller settles back. He decided not to fight it all the way.
Yes, that was great touring car racing by Muller and Reid there. Just Muller leaving just enough room for Reid, but Reid getting the place back.
Now, important stop here. James Thompson has come in. They've put that car onto slicks, and he's back out again. So he's decided that the track is drying out considerably, and you can see that dry line. Now Tim Harvey in 4th place, but Aaron Slight on the attack. Battle between 2 independents here, both running well in the Independents Championship, and Aaron Slight takes 4th place away as James Thompson on his slick tyres now, remember, trying to get past Prio, and Prio makes a mistake.
Yes, Prio runs wide there, just possibly. Sometimes, you know, as a driver, you look, if you've got a car closing on you quickly, you look in your mirror and it takes you quite by surprise. You just miss your braking point by 2 or 3 metres, and that's enough to send you wide.
Now here's that battle in the production class. All 3 cars are pretty close together now. Kay, Fullerlove, and there Norman Simon. So this is a 3-way battle for the lead. Anthony Reid makes his stop. Crucial now to get back out in front of Ivan Muller. Remember, Muller was only just behind Reid when they made their stop. They're getting the tyres changed, putting the slicks on.
Great attention to detail there as they push the wing mirror back into its normal position. They've already been knocked in that incident with Muller.
But there's a problem on that left rear. It's taking a while. Finally, look at that. Nearly 20 seconds. and that surely means that Reid will come out behind Muller, and he might well come out behind Thompson, one or two others as well. And Tom Boardman saying, come on, Paul O'Neill, race leader, get on with it. I'm faster than you in my production car.
Well, we certainly know that's Tom Boardman, because we know he gesticulates like that all the time. And yeah, look, he's getting past O'Neill. So O'Neill really is struggling on these wet tyres.
Well, Gareth Howell has just been struggling coming out of the pit lane.
And here we say, yes, the replay turning into the first corner. Hewlett-Packard, this long hairpin. As he turns into the corner, you see the back just coming round. Remember, he's on absolutely stone-cold tyres on a slightly damp track.
Paul O'Neill at last having a set of slicks fitted. He certainly needs them. Warren Hughes coming in just behind him. Oh, and Tom Chilton's gone off into the gravel. Let's take a look at the replay. This was into Dunlop.
Yes, for some reason the car just didn't turn. So whether he's got some sort of problem or not, or whether he just missed his braking point, I don't know. But that's him out of the race.
Yvan Muller trying to pull away from James Thompson. Look at Andy Priaulx in the Honda, under attack from Anthony Reid, and Reid now trying to force his way through on the inside. There's a little bit of a nudge there up towards turn 3. Reid trying to go around the outside. Oh, Priaulx launching himself at Reid, pushes him wide, and that's Matt Neal on the inside. Matt Neal taking advantage of that, and Andy Priaulx now trying to defend from the export driver.
Yes, it's really frantic stuff. Andy's bumper there looking askew already. So, and the more contact there as they exit turn 3.
Well, this is an amazing battle for third. Look at it. Priaulx still holding on to it. Reid's on the left of the picture. Then it's Matt Neal and Paul O'Neill absolutely together. Oh, and now Reid's got down the inside of Priaulx.
And just look at Priaulx's car. A lot of damage there at the back. Clearly he's been hit by one or two cars and definitely struggling now with some sort of problem.
Oh, and also struggling the other Honda, the production class car of James Kay. He was leading the class. That means Spencer Marsh in the Honda Accord is looking for victory in this race, and he's got a bit of distance between himself and Jim Edwards Jr., so he just has to hang on for the closing part of this race. Yvan Muller in great shape here. He's still in control. He's dominated this race ever since that pit stop when he managed to get out ahead of Anthony Reid and ahead of James Thompson. But look at this battle for third. Reid's on the grass again, trying to... Oh, and he hits O'Neill. And now it's Matt Neal in third, but Reid's trying to get that position back. The checker flag's out. Muller wins it. It's a 1-2 for Vauxhall Motorsport, and it's Matt Neal who takes third. Reid gets fourth, just ahead of Paul O'Neill. My goodness, what panel damaging incident we saw there in that battle for third. Well, just didn't know which way it was going to go, but great drive from Muller.
That was Muller's third win of the season, while James Thompson came second in both races at Mondello Park. So a win for Matt Neal, and those points for Thompson meant that there was 1 point between them, while Yvan Muller was getting back in the hunt. James Kay still well ahead in the production class. Vauxhall Motorsport not out of sight, but over 100 points clear of their nearest rivals in the Manufacturers' Championship. Second time lucky then for Yvan Muller, whose title challenge was getting back on track.
That's much better, definitely. I was waiting until the last corner, something happened, and I was all my ear was open, all my sensitive on my body was ready to anything. But now that time I was more lucky than before.
The lads did a fantastic job with the pit stops. I mean, we were dead last, and we come back and we finished second. So, fantastic weekend really. We've had, obviously, a very heavy car all weekend. Maximum ballast in the first, and then pretty much maximum ballast in the second. So, take 2 second places, a pole, and a second on the grid. So it was a great weekend, but I tell you, that was a hell of a race.
It did get a bit busy for a while on the last couple of laps with the Honda, Andy's Priaulx's Honda, Reid's MG, and I got Paul in the other egg car. So yeah, it was kind of fraught for a bit.
Croft now, and the championship was still finely poised. Matt Neal was leading by only 1 point, and after qualifying it couldn't be closer, with Thompson clawing back that point with pole position in the sprint race. Yvan Muller again made it a Vauxhall 1-2 on the grid, with Matt Neal back in 6. A fine qualifying also by Andy Priaulx and Alan Morrison in the Honda Civics.
So we're all set for the 15-lap sprint race to get underway here. James Thompson versus Yvan Muller on the front row of the grid. Here we go, action underway. Thompson trying to get off the line. Muller smoking those front tyres as he falls away, but Thompson definitely with a slight advantage as they head down towards Clairvaux for the first time. Muller in second place, then it's the two Hondas. Andy Priaulx just sneaking into third place ahead of his teammate Alan Morrison, and Thompson's got the start that he wanted. Slightly lighter, remember, some 12 kilos lighter than Ivan Muller's car, and he's got the advantage coming up through the chicane, so Thompson will be delighted with that. Heading up towards Tower, but there's Aaron Slight in trouble. He's gone wide at the first corner.
Yeah, Slight's gone inside Leslie at the first corner and not really given David any room, and then cut across him and basically taken himself out of the game there.
Now here are our two leaders. It is James Thompson, Ivan Muller. One of the Hondas is missing. That was Morrison that came through. Andy Priaulx was not there. There's David Leslie with Colin Turkington alongside, but one of the Hondas definitely not there any longer. There's Alan Morrison. Andy Priaulx has dropped right back. I can see him in the background. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, Priaulx spins through the chicane. I think this is lap one, and it's possibly a standard front-wheel drive problem, which is the rear tyres stay cold for longer than the fronts, and the car got away from Andy there.
Well, he got away, but he got it back into the race, didn't he? There's his teammate Morrison. Priaulx managed to recover amazingly well, and he's still in this race, but a long, long way down the order, having qualified in third. Morrison himself coming under some pressure now from the MG of Anthony Reid. Reid yet to win a race this year, but that puts him up into third place. Good move down the inside.
And Anthony came from a long way back there. That was quite a surprising move. I think he caught Morrison unawares there.
So Reid up into third, Morrison now fourth, Warren Hughes right there in fifth place, and Morrison's going to have to watch out for the second of the MGs here as Gavin Piper takes the lead in the production class, gets past the BMW of Norman Simon. Simon always very quick off the grid with the rear-wheel drive BMW, but Piper now ahead in the race. Thompson leads, Muller in second, then it's Reid, then it's Morrison. Oh, and Warren Hughes gets a bit sideways on the brakes down into Clairvaux. Now look back for Andy Priaulx, there he is, down in 13th place, a long way back as we ride with Warren Hughes.
Yeah, bumpy here, leading through the chicane, which is a challenging part of the circuit. Very fast through that chicane. Be careful not to drop on the grass on the exit. Fairly long straight here up to Tower Corner. There's a big bump under braking, which you might just see there.
Yeah, that's Hughes dealing with it quite well at the moment, but not well enough because here comes Matt Neal. Matt Neal slides down the inside, and that was another good move from the lanky Midlander who needs some points. Now, battle for fourth in the production class going on here. Tom Boardman versus Alan Blenko in the Alfa Romeo side by side. Oh, and there's something going on. Yes, indeed, Phil Bennett in the other Proton is spun at the hip, and he's got going again. I'm not quite sure what happened in the battle. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, so O'Neill, following Bennett, dives very late into the hairpin. It's not really on that manoeuvre there. It's a very tight corner. A little bit naughty, Paul O'Neill.
Well, the team probably got quite a good view of that, Kelvin, because that's the corner nearest the pits. Oh, and O'Neill's in bigger trouble now. He's spun down, and look under the car. Fluid. Looks like oil coming out from under the car.
Yeah, and he cuts the corner there. I think we can safely assume that he damaged the sump possibly on the curb, cutting the corner, and there you see the oil burst into flames. Fairly spectacular.
A spectacular exit indeed for Paul O'Neill, and of course it's laid a lot of oil down on that part of the track, and here comes Carl Breeze going through that. He didn't know where to go, did he? Complete smoke screen and a slippery track. No chance. Meanwhile, so far so good for the leaders. Ivan Muller, we had a little think about it down the inside there, but there is a bit of smoke coming from the back of the Astra. This is the battle for third. Anthony Reid and the MG just ahead of us here. We're on board Matt Neal.
Neal following Reid down the front straight into corner one. Again, remember the oil there could cause some drama. He's not really close enough to have a go there. Both make it through. Oh, no. What looked okay. He then got onto the oil and slid wide.
Well, here are the two Vauxhalls, nothing broken on those still. This is Morrison running wide, still in the battle with Warren Hughes, but now he's lost another place to David Leslie. And look at, it seems to be handling a bit strangely, this car. Seems to be bouncing around a lot. That seemed to contribute to him losing a position there as the Proton team watch on. David Leslie's progress is good. We're on board now with Ivan Muller, down to the corner where Anthony Reid went on. And in fact, Muller's slowing. Muller's going very slowly here. He can barely turn it into the right hand. Look, he's crawling round. He must have a puncture. Surely that left front. Yes, look, it is punctured. And Ivan Muller in trouble again. Well, how many times have we seen that this season? Ivan Muller in a top position and something goes wrong on the car and he's got to go almost the whole way round the lap to make it back to the pits. Kay still leading in the production class here, ahead of Norman Simon. That seems to be relatively settled. Warren Hughes battling with David Leslie, and here comes Alan Morrison. And Morrison in the Honda has Turkington behind him. We're on board Morrison.
Yeah, there's definitely something not right with this car, the way it's porpoising and bouncing up and down. Perhaps a broken damper at the front.
Well, it does look very strange, doesn't it? We'll try and keep an eye on it. He's got his teammate Andy Prio right behind him now, and that's pretty impressive because Prio spun on the opening lap and dropped down to 13th place. So we've got other cars off. Hal Harvey going off on the grass there as well. So 2 off on the right. And in fact, Matt Neal was involved in that, and he's putting off into the pit lane on the left there. So disaster indeed for Matt Neal. And Ivan Muller, that punctured tyre, he couldn't make it back to the pits. He's out of the race. Here comes Prio. Andy Prio managing to find a way past his teammate Alan Morrison, and that car still bouncing around all over the place. So that puts Prio up into 5th, although he's still having a go at trying to get past 4th place man Warren Hughes here. Turkington just ahead in the MG, and he's going to have one of his best results. We're into the closing stages, and Simon gets past James Kay, going on to the last lap for the production class battle. And that's a good move for the BMW driver, but the Tourer winner already making it round to the checker flag. It is James Thompson. 2nd place will go to David Leslie in the Proton, and that's his best finish of the season. Colin Turkington a superb 3rd, and Prio takes 4th on that last lap. So Prio did manage to get past Warren Hughes as well.
What a win that was for James Thompson, his 4th of the season, while his nearest rivals weren't even in the points. It was turning out to be a pretty good day for Thompson as he extended his championship lead.
Yeah, fantastic, I have to say, it was brilliant. We had a good run at Mondello, aside from all the pit stops, to come here, particularly my home circuit. I've had so much work this week with the press and all that. It's nice to actually do well in front of your home crowd.
There's been a lot of action out there, a lot of people having problems, and they just didn't keep their head on. What I had to do was stay in there, keep working hard, keep passing people when the opportunity arrived, and take some extra opportunities when they fell off on their own because they just weren't too clever.
Once again, it was Thompson followed by Muller. Vauxhall Motorsport 1st and 2nd on the grid. But Thompson had maximum ballast after winning the sprint race. With Andy Prio and Alan Morrison again in 3rd and 4th, Honda were well represented. But Matt Neal was back in 6th place and had a lot to do.
So the car's coming around, ready for the rolling start. Tim Harvey joined from the pit lane, so he will have to start right at the back of the field as James Thompson tries to get away now from Ivan Muller. But remember, Muller's got a light car, James Thompson's got a heavy car after winning the sprint race and picking up the maximum ballast, but still Thompson gets out in front. Muller into 2nd place. It's the 2 Hondas again running 3rd and 4th. Andy Prio ahead of his teammate Alan Morrison as they head down towards one of the fastest sections of the track, up to about 120 miles an hour here, and then onto the brakes down into Tower Corner.
Yeah, and remember there's that bump under braking which you can see more with some cars than others. A little mistake from Thompson, runs wide, yeah, and Muller gets inside him.
So Muller now, yeah, with a chance to get past there, and that's Thompson on our left. We're on board Andy Prio in 3rd place, and there goes Muller taking the lead from his teammate. Well, Thompson might have expected that, I think, with the lighter car for Ivan Muller in this race, but I'm afraid there's problems for Tom Chilton. They changed his engine, but there's some sort of oil leak that they just can't seem to cure now, and what a disappointment after getting it ready. Tom Boardman's off in the BMW. Well, he's flying across the grass, gets back on again. He's certainly in plenty of action today. He's knocked one of the tyres loose. Oh, and I think that's caused problems for Dave Allen. I don't know if they made contact. It may just have been that the tyres moved and Allen had nowhere to go, so he looks like he's set for retirement. There is Tom Boardman making his way back in as well. So disappointment for those 2 production class, and that's Thompson. Thompson going very slowly. He was running 2nd. He's being passed by everybody. And there's obviously some problem with his car. Well, for Muller it was a puncture. I don't know what the problem is here.
Is it misfiring? Sounds like a misfire.
Well, it could be. It could well be that Thompson has got some sort of engine problem because he's just not on the pace at all. And in fact now our race leader, this is Muller. It's not Thompson. Thompson hasn't made it round yet. Muller's decided to come in at the earliest opportunity here. Dives into the pit lane. Right, so they're looking for a good clean stop. He came in from the lead, quite a good advantage. 1 or 2 other cars coming in. Matt Neal coming in just... Oh, they've got a problem. They've dropped it off the jack too fast. Now finally they can get it. Oh, and this car's coming down, nearly makes contact with Gareth Howell and with one of the Protons. Very close.
That was very close. There wasn't anyone actually controlling that Astra, leaving its pit there.
Well, finally they do get away cleanly. Phil Bennett gets out safely. Now here's Thompson. They're changing the tyres, but I think it's more serious than just a tyre change.
Yeah, it sounded to us as though the engine was misfiring on his in-lap, and he was moving slowly. Yeah, bonnet up.
Big inspection going on there. We're on board with Matt Neal. He's been into the pits for... Oh, he's been hit. Somebody's hit him. Who's that? Who's around behind him? Oh, it's Anthony Reid. Reid has given him a friendly little tap at Tower.
Quite a robust move there from Anthony.
Now we're on board with Ivan Muller. The car up ahead, the orange Peugeot, is actually in the lead at the moment. He hasn't stopped, that's Carl Breeze. But these two battling for second. Oh, and Prio's just managed to hit the tyres and it's pulled his bumper off.
Yeah, if we look closely there, he did actually catch the tyres with the left side of the bumper. And is it now causing a problem? You can see it's fouling the rear tyre, causing a lot of smoke.
Meanwhile, James Thompson's car gets pushed away. There is the leader in the production cast, that's Norman Simon. Well, that's one retirement apiece today for Muller and Thompson, but Muller still wants to win this race. He's still got a chance to do that, but he's got to find a way past a very smoky-looking Prio, down the inside into Tower Corner. Oh, and that's, in the background, that's Carl Breeze, who was leading, getting out of the way a bit too much there, and Muller goes ahead. So he is now the race leader. He's ahead of the Honda of Andy Prio, and Muller has a great opportunity to close that points gap back up.
Yeah, good move by Muller down the inside into Tower there, and we saw Breeze go off in sympathy on the outside. He's just rejoining now.
Well, this doesn't look too good, does it? This is Matt Neal, and he's pulled right off.
She's a goner, mate. She's gone at the end of the straight. Yeah, we saw that. Bad luck about that. Did your best.
That's Ivan Muller ahead of Andy Prio. I thought Andy might drop away more, but in fact, if anything, he's closed up again.
Yeah, doing a good job. Of course, Ivan doesn't need to press that hard, but he does need to press hard enough to get away from the Honda.
Well, it is the last lap. It looks good for Ivan Muller, and he's going to take the checkered flag as he comes through this time. Muller wins the feature race here at Croft, with Andy Prio taking his best result of the season and Honda's best result on their return to the British Touring Car Championship under the new regulations. There goes Anthony Reid coming through in third place, but it's Ivan Muller who takes the win and Norman Simon who takes the win in the production class.
A great drive from Andy Prio, but what a well-timed win that was for Ivan Muller. With Matt Neal failing to get any points at Croft, Muller was fighting his way back into the championship. But could anyone catch James Thompson, who was 17 points clear? Or James Kay, who was 37 points clear in the production class? While Vauxhall Motorsport marched on and Vauxhall looked home and dry in the Manufacturers' Championship. Honda's first podium of the season proved very popular, and a win went down very well with Ivan Muller.
We win, that's the most important thing, and I have to say well done and thank you to my guys because they changed the engine between both races, and that is a real performance.
I'm delighted, fantastic result for the team. We really pushed hard for it this weekend and the guys have turned it around and they've nearly won a race. We led for a long time and I was really pleased. Everybody's done a fantastic job. Well done to Honda, Arena and all my mechanics and engineers.
I was trying to concentrate and think about the championship, but Jimmy's got a nice little lead now and Ivan's suddenly back in the running, so you know, I think pressure's off a little bit for me and I'll just hang in there and see what it comes.
Sonny Snetterton in the Norfolk countryside was next for the 7th meeting of the British Touring Car Championship, rounds 13 and 14. Matt Neal was fastest in qualifying to get pole position for the sprint race, but this would be no stroll in the sun for the Egg team. James Thompson was lurking right behind Neal, then came Egg's Paul O'Neill. Andy Prio was looking to build on his Croft successes, while Ivan Muller had a lot of work to do from 7th place.
Right, we're all set. It's absolutely beautiful weather here at Snetterton. Boiling hot. It's going to be very warm inside those cockpits. The sprint race gets underway, and it's a good start from both front row men, James Thompson and Matt Neal, trying to get away. Matt Neal on the left-hand side there as they head up towards the first corner. James Thompson will try and go around the outside. Can he hold him off? Look in the background, Alan Morrison on the grass trying to come up towards that first corner. But I think they've managed to all get through there fairly safely as Matt Neal comes back there still side by side. And Neal just takes the lead as they come out of Sear. But James Thompson's coming back at him again.
Yeah, they're side by side going up Revitt straight, and I'm not sure who's going to get into first into the S's. At the moment, Neil's got the inside, but he had a better run out of Riches, which gave him the line for Sear and has given them first place. But certainly today, it's going to be very hot, and there the car's just fanning out as they go into the S's.
Paul O'Neill in third place is coming under attack from Warren Hughes on the outside there. Matt Neal takes the lead. Thompson Hughes comes up into third place indeed. So Paul O'Neill now has to watch out because he's got Ivan Muller behind. Into the bomb hole. Ivan Muller's got the inside line there. So Muller, who started 7th, is already up into 4th position as these two try and get away from the MGFUs. Paul O'Neill's being hung out to dry. A number of cars have managed to get past him, and O'Neill's gone from 3rd place to 7th.
Yeah, poor old O'Neill there. That was, he got wide going to the S's there. There, Hughes just barges his way down the inside. Now into the bomb hole. Somebody else comes up the inside. This time it's Muller. Muller barges his way forward. O'Neill's now lost speed. And then there is Prio coming through on the inside. And possibly yet another car. Reed, so he's gone. He's lost 4 places in the matter of about 400 metres.
Matt Neal now coming under attack from James Thompson, who takes that inside line at Sear Corner, and surely, well, if he's got an engine problem, this is where we'll see it.
Certainly he'll lose a bit of power with the high engine temperatures, but it's almost there, as though he pulled over to let Thompson through.
Here they come down towards the S's. James Thompson leads. Matt Neal, well, he still hasn't completely backed off, and certainly he's battling here. Here comes Ivan Muller down the inside. He takes 2nd place, but Matt Neal still trying to defend from Warren Hughes, and Hughes looking for that way past the Export Astra. On board with Warren, up to, oh, he takes his rear bumper off as they turn in. Oh, and bang, Andy Brio, where did he come from? He launches himself down the inside of Warren, and in fact, Brio's had his rear bumper taken off by Anthony Reed. Matt Neal's pulled off at the side. It's all happening. There's Matt Neal off the track, but we've got all sorts. Oh, it's Blenko, and his engine's gone and he's spun on his own oil. Look at the mess down there at Russell. Well, he's out of the car, but it's a real mess on the track surface. So everyone's going to have to be a little careful when they come around next time. You can see both Protons running well at the moment. Alan Morrison in the second Honda. Aaron Slight gets it all a bit sideways, as we can see Andy Prio's bumper up there at Coram. It's come right off the car this time. Now into Russell. This is the slippery surface at the moment, and look, they're all scrabbling to find some grip. Oh, off the track goes Warren Hughes. He's run wide, and now the Peugeot. Oh, and O'Neill. That's Paul O'Neill. Has he spun it? They're all over the place here, Will.
Yeah, it's a really bad place to have it. And there's another big slide as well. So it is a really bad place to lay oil down. Here we see it on board with O'Neill. But yes, he just, no, he loses it all in that smoke there from the oil and just gets it out of shape and half spins.
Now this is the battle for 2nd in the production class, and James Kay nips down the inside of Tom Boardman. And Boardman better watch out, because the man who won both races at Croft, Norman Simon, his teammate, is right behind. Here's the battle for 2nd place, and look how close Andy Prio is. Remember, these two were 1st and 2nd last time out at Croft. They're running with a lot of success ballast on board, and Prio showing once again the Honda's on the pace.
Yeah, it certainly made good progress over the last couple of races. But the problem, of course, he's got here is with the engine temperatures running close behind a car in front, the engine just doesn't get clean air. And, a big move there by Howell as he gets past O'Neill. Bit of a slide going through the infamous bomb hole. But as we said, temperatures are a problem here. Engine temperatures are going to run high, especially running close behind another car.
Battle for 2nd in the production class still going on here. James Kay and Norman Simon. Now look, Simon's got the inside line into the bomb hole, and he's got the grip, and Kay's forced out wide, and he can't hold on to the position. James Thompson in control here, and it looks as though it's going to be a comfortable victory for him in the end. Followed home by teammate Ivan Muller. A superb win for Thompson after Matt Neal had his problems. Ivan Muller takes 2nd, Prio in 3rd, and Anthony Reed crosses the line in 4th position.
James Thompson from Ivan Muller was beginning to have a familiar ring to it, and more joy for Andy Prio and Honda. So, James Thompson building up a commanding lead in the championship and Vauxhall as dominant as ever.
The key thing, we're not pulled away from the rest of them yet, so we wanted to be careful but also have a bit of fun. Unfortunately for him, he had a problem, but that's the way it goes. And I've had my fair share this year, and it's obviously evening itself out.
It was okay. I can be only pleased to be on the podium after to start 7 and to have 60 kilo weight in the car.
It turned out to be another fine pole position for James Thompson, and this time all the title contenders were there or thereabouts. Matt Neal took second, while Ivan Muller looked dangerous from third. Alan Morrison in fourth with the Honda, but watch out for Colin Turkington and the Atomic Kitten team.
As ever, we have a rolling start for the feature race, 25 laps long, remember, and pit stops to be made. Here we go, James Thompson versus Matt Neal, part 2. Away they go, and Thompson actually gets a great run at the start this time. They were side by side on the opening lap last time. This time, Thompson very much with the advantage. Muller slots into third. Alan Morrison popping into fourth place, and in the production class it looked like Gavin Piper had the slightly better start, as turning into Sear it is definitely Thompson ahead of Neal, then Muller and Morrison.
Yeah, Thompson of course running the heaviest car in the grid at the moment, having won the last race, 42 extra kilos. That's a lot of weight to carry around here, and it'd be interesting to see whether he can hang on to that first position.
Well, Matt Neal already hunting him down as they head down towards the S's. You need to get on the brakes here, and that's where the lighter car perhaps is a bit more stable, easier, and Matt Neal indeed goes through into the lead, and Thompson's pushed back down to second with his teammate Muller right behind him. Then it's Alan Morrison in the Honda, Warren Hughes in the MG, chased by teammate Anthony Reid, as everybody's safely making their way round. And well, with the feature race being that little bit longer, perhaps everybody takes their time a bit more on the opening lap to get it right, although Colin Turkington's lost a place or two.
Yeah, it looks like he's lost 2 places there as he ran into the S's.
This battle continues here between Gareth Howell, and Phil Bennett. Bennett's gone down the inside here, trying to get into Sear corner. Runs a bit wide on the exit. He's run very wide. In fact, he's on the grass coming out.
Yeah, he's taken the rallycross route there, but Howell did a good job by forcing Bennett to carry more speed into Sear, and as a result, he just ran wide and lost a lot of time.
James Thompson comes in. He comes in a bit too fast. Went a little far down the pit lane. That won't help him at all. That'll help the team. And he stalled it. He stalled it as well. That was not a textbook stop from James Thompson.
Not at all. I think he lost more than 6.28 seconds. I think there's at least 2 or 3 seconds extra when he stalled that engine. So I'd be surprised if he's still in the position he had before he came in.
Well, that position was second, remember, behind Matt Neal, but ahead of Ivan Muller. So I wonder if Ivan's going to have an opportunity here. And is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is. Ivan Muller heads into the pit lane. So this is a crucial stop. Matt Neal still our race leader. Morrison now up into second place in the Honda. He'll be pleased about that. He's only had a couple of 5th places so far this year. Muller comes in, a bit tidier, a bit neater into his pit bay. Also coming in is Paul O'Neill. Not Matt Neal, the race leader, but his teammate, Paul O'Neill. And I can hear Muller's already accelerating his way down the pit lane. So Muller has made a good stop, and the wheels got stuck on O'Neill's car. So there's a problem there. Here comes Muller, and he rejoins, and he's coming out just in front of Thompson. So he did gain the time. Thompson losing that time on the pit stop.
Yeah, as we expected, that stall from Thompson really has messed his race up, and he's lost now 2 valuable seconds.
Battle in the production class still going on here. Norman Simon in the BMW, Gavin Piper right behind him in the Alfa Romeo, and then the Honda of James Kay. 3 different manufacturers in the battle for the win in the production class, and Simon's gone wide. Piper goes through, retakes the lead in the class, and in fact Simon loses second and I think third as well to Dave Allen. Morrison's gone off. Alan Morrison crashing out, that's on the exit of Coram.
That is the fastest corner on the circuit. That you're doing about 125 miles an hour around that corner, so that is a very, very quick accident.
Leader is in, but they've got a problem on the left front. It's a bit of a slow stop. Andy Prio's in behind him. Matt Neal waiting. Finally gets going. In fact, Prio gained a lot, 6.1 seconds only for Prio against 8.9 seconds for Matt Neal. And they're coming out as both Muller and Thompson are heading up the straight here. It's going to be a close run thing. Back onto the track, and in fact Muller and Thompson just squeezing past them. Neal comes back in behind, Prio joins him, Now, they're not leading the race, this bunch, but they are the leaders of those that have stopped so far, and it looks as though Ivan Muller is the man who's gained most.
That's interesting now. You've got Neil and Prio both on fresh front tyres. They won't have their grip levels right up. The two MGs behind are going to be running very strongly down the Revit straight here. Be very interested to see whether they can take advantage of the extra grip they've got.
Well, let's see what happens. Andy Prio moving to the left slightly. There's one of the MGs already going past. It's Warren Hughes. Anthony Reid is somewhere around. Oh, there's Anthony Reid. They can just see him squeezing past as well. Andy losing out.
It's very tough when you come out of the pits. You need 2 or 3 corners to get those tyres up to temperature.
Tom Chilton leads this race at the moment, and now in fact he's coming into the pit. So Tom Chilton and Carl Breeze, they were 1 and 2 in the race, but they now come into the pit. And up front still Muller. In fact, look, Matt Neal's got past Thompson. Matt Neal has moved up into 2nd place. Matt Neal taking advantage of James Thompson and now going chasing after the race leader. Behind still the 2 MGs of Warren Hughes, and Hughes making a little bit of a move on Thompson himself, but not able to squeeze down the inside. And Anthony Reid shadowing his every move. Battle in the production class here, James Kay versus Gavin Piper. They're still raging away as Phil Bennett turns into the Russell chicane just ahead of them.
James Kay now exiting Russell hairpin, and there James Kay runs wide over the curb and onto the dirt. That should give Piper a lot more momentum coming out that corner, give him a chance to get back the class lead.
Well, talking of momentum, look at Matt Neal. He's got great momentum on Ivan Muller, and this is for the outright lead. We're on board Muller, and there goes Matt Neal. Takes the place away. Well, Matt Neal desperately needs the points here this weekend, and now he's got back in front. And here was the end of that manoeuvre that we were seeing going on. In fact, turning into the next corner, Rich's Piper gets it all wrong, heads off towards Thetford.
Yeah, it's Thetford and a Maysfield by looks of things, but Classic Kay did a good job there. He made Piper stay on the inside of the corner, forced him to take a compromised line, and the result was, well, as you said, he ended up on his way to Thetford.
James Thompson still trying to fend off the 2 MGs right behind. Look how close the battles are. Norman Simon talking about close battles. He's gone off in this battle in the production class, and that's down at the S's.
Yeah, let's see if we can see what happened there. We go on board here with James Kay. And there in the front, right at the front there, you see Simon just loses it as he turns into the left-hander of the S's. I think he just got wide onto the dirt. As we said earlier, the track is getting very dirty, all this dust, and bits of rubber thrown up to the outside. It looks like he just got onto the wrong line and lost it.
Now back with the leaders in the touring class, and overall is Matt Neal still in front of Ivan Muller. These two just a little bit ahead of James Thompson. Matt Neal having to watch his mirrors because the Frenchman is all over him once again. In fact, here he comes. Muller's gone past. Matt Neal must have a problem. He's slowed right down. He's moving to the outside, and for the 2nd time today, Matt Neal looks as though he's heading for retirement.
I wonder if this is another puncher.
All right, Kev, we've had something let go on the transmission, mate, of pull off on the inside of Coram.
So hard day, is it? Sorry, mate.
James Kay leads in the production class, and in fact, look there, not far behind him is the overall race leader, Ivan Muller, nearly putting a lap on the production class leader. But James has managed to pull away slightly from Gavin Piper there in 2nd. There's our overall leader, Ivan Muller, coming through, and he's also got himself a little bit of a healthy advantage over James Thompson, who's running 2nd in the class. It's been a superb afternoon, this, for Vauxhall Motorsports, you have to say, with James Thompson winning the first race, the sprint race this afternoon, and Ivan Muller finishing 2nd. It looks as though it's going to be reversed positions to the finale of the feature race. Ivan Muller comes up.
Well done, guys.
He's over the moon about that. A fantastic weekend for him. James Thompson takes 2nd place. Warren Hughes a fine 3rd place for MG Sport. I have to say it's been disappointment for Honda. Andy Prio going out towards the end. Alan Morrison looked as though he might be a podium finisher himself earlier in the race until the puncture. But coming through to win the production class, it is James Kay. It was hard fought and well deserved, and that's his 4th win of the season in the class.
So, in a reverse of the sprint race, Ivan Muller beats James Thompson. A fantastic result for Vauxhall Motorsport, and still pretty good for James Thompson, who is threatening to get away at the top of the championship. Another victory in the production class makes James Kay's lead look unassailable, and elsewhere, Vauxhall's rule. 28 points made it a great weekend for Ivan Muller, and first and second for James Thompson made it a wonderful Vauxhall weekend.
One second place, one first place with maximum weight, so I can be pleased with the weekend and I can be pleased with the guys because they done a good job during all weekend.
I'm very happy. We've had a pole, a win and a second. You know, it's one of the best weekends of the year, you know, to be honest, or equals the best one.
We were leading to start with, then we were back in fourth, then we're third, then we're leading again, and then we're back to fourth again. I mean, it was just an incredible race. I'm glad I won it.
Unpredictable Scottish weather was always likely to affect proceedings for rounds 15 and 16 at Knock Hill. With the championship entering the final lap, it was going to be a question of who coped best with the track. It was Andy Prio in the Honda who coped best in qualifying. Could that be something to do with being a former powerboat champion? He would need his water skills today. James Thompson and Matt Neal were not far away. Ivan Muller took 8th place.
Well, the conditions certainly not as good as they were for Saturday's qualifying session. A fairly steady drizzle falling at the moment as we get ready for the start of this sprint race at Knock Hill. The green flag from the back of the grid. 25 laps coming up. Andy Prio, can he convert this pole position into victory? Away they go. It's a good start for the Honda driver. Not a good start at all for James Thompson, carrying 30 kilos of ballast, but really just getting too much wheel spin there. And Thompson, look, already dropping down to maybe 4th place because Morrison alongside him as they turn into the first corner. Prio leads. Matt Neal up into a clear 2nd place. Then it's Morrison, and then it's James Thompson.
Well, a nightmare there for James Thompson, and he's just dropping back. He's been bundled down the order. I think he should be able to maintain that position now, though.
Well, a marker's gone already at the Glenvarrigill chicane. There goes the other one. Well, that didn't take very long. They pop it over the curb there in their attempts to straight line the corner, and Morrison now with Thompson running a bit wide, and that's allowed Paul O'Neill to get alongside him. Bit of a wiggle on there from Thompson. In fact, O'Neill loses out because here comes Reed.
Well, all the drivers finding their feet on this very slippery surface. Some of the drivers don't forget carrying weight. James Thompson struggled in the braking area there. He's got a heavy car today.
Muller coming up, trying to get 6th place away from Paul O'Neill, and right round the outside at the hairpin he's going, getting good traction off the corner and moving ahead. We saw Gavin Piper leading in the production class, so the Alfa Romeo leading in that category, but a bit further down the order, there is our overall race leader. It is Andy Prio, and look, further back you can see Ivan Muller having a go at getting past James Thompson into Duffers Tib. Oh, he gets it very crossed up, somehow saves it, and they don't hit each other. Let's take a look at this start again.
Well, it's an uphill grid here at Knock Hill. Now it's downhill, but Thompson's bogged his engine down. He got away very slowly. He's now on the left-hand side, the outside, going into turn 1. He's already been passed by one person, now a second, and he's just left on the outside with nowhere to go.
So James Thompson, oh, and we've got problems here. That's Phil Bennett's car off in the gravel. Aaron Slight is the other car involved there. Oh, a very bent left front for Aaron Slight's Vauxhall. Let's see what happened here. We're on board with David Leslie. Can't see Slight at the moment. Bennett's just ahead, turning. Oh, there's Slight, straight into Bennett.
Well, I think Aaron was having his own accident there, and Bennett just got in the flight path and was taken out fairly heavily.
Here comes Matt Neal, now trying to get 2nd place away from Anthony Reid. And it does look as though, although Matt Neal made that mistake earlier on, he seems to be flying in these conditions. And I know that they were doing a little bit of extra work on that car, and they were sort of expecting it to stay wet, whereas other teams, I think, thought it might dry off. So perhaps that's to his advantage. Matt Neal has got alongside Reid, and I think he's going to go into 2nd.
Well, as the conditions have worsened, he's going quicker and quicker. He made light work of getting past Anthony Reid there. Let's hope he can pull away out of the danger zone and pick on his next target.
Well, his next target is the race leader, no less, Andy Prio. Of course, we're looking for Honda's first victory of the season, but Neal doesn't want it. Harvey, meanwhile, has got past Warren Hughes there. Hughes seems to be struggling just a little bit, and we've got Tom Chilton involved in the battle, the 17-year-old in the 2nd of the Barwell Astras. We saw Aaron Slight go out earlier on, remember. Now, just coming up through Glenvarrigill chicane, James Thompson still in the battle, needing points, does not need to throw it away. Prio is the race leader, then Matt Neal in the export car, Anthony Reid, James Thompson, then it's Ivan Muller, and Muller not perhaps going as well as expected. He is carrying some 42 kilos of ballast though, so lots of work to do for him, and he's got Paul O'Neill close behind him as well. The leader's coming up towards Taylor's hairpin. Still Andy Prio with the advantage, but here comes Matt Neal. Neal taking a late lunge down the inside, little bit of door rubbing going on between the Astra and the Honda, but I think Neil's got the advantage here.
Well, he outbraked Andy Priaulx into the hairpin nicely there. They're neck and neck going up across the start-finish line, but Matt Neal's car is excellent on the brakes. Look how much easier he finds it braking into turn 1.
Yeah, very comfortable, and Andy Priaulx is pushed back down to second. He was on pole position, he led the early stages, but that first Honda win isn't coming, and here comes Reed. Reed squeezing down the inside into McIntyre's, and he's on the grass now. Priaulx almost on the same piece of grass that Morrison was. Morrison goes past his teammate. Oh, and more drama. That's Warren Hughes off. Warren Hughes into the gravel. Now that's a Duffer's Dip at the exit of the main straight.
And now Warren Hughes trying to find a way past Tim Harvey's Peugeot. Harvey's made him take the left-hand lane up the straight, over the brow of the hill. Now it's a downhill, bumpy braking area in 6th gear, as you can see there. And he's just locked up a little bit, braking late, and he's off.
Ouch. Well, that's how it happened for Warren Hughes. And unfortunately, it's put him out of the race. And look at this, Muller now getting aggressive on Priaulx. Oh, he's pushing him wide again. And poor Priaulx's getting to know that bit of grass better than virtually any other part of the track. O'Neill nips through and howls off. Now we're on to the final lap. Matt Neal is our race leader. Look in the background and we'll see the others go. In fact, Morrison's on the grass in the background. Morrison being passed by Van Muller. Reed comes through in second. Thompson third. Muller now into fourth. There's Morrison. He's just dropped a place. A bit of a mistake out of the chicane there, and he's going to come under increasing pressure there from Paul O'Neill and Andy Priaulx on this last lap. But Matt Neal's done it. Matt Neal takes the victory. First time he's won since Mondello. And it's been a while because he's had so many reliability problems. Reed comes through in second, James Thompson does well in third, and Ivan Muller takes fourth position. But I think that Matt Neal will be pretty happy about that.
Matt Neal back in the points after a barren spell. A good second for Anthony Reed, while Thompson kept clocking up the points.
Good day. I can go home now. I don't want to do the second one.
Matt was just that little bit quicker than me, and he drove a very good race to win that one. But I'm happy to finish second in the MG. From 6th on the grid, that's good. And we're on the front row for the next race, so that's got to be good.
Yeah, it was very wet. It started to dry out, and the BMW was getting quite close to the back of me, which I didn't like. And then it started to rain again, and we seemed to be quite quick in the wet. So it was a good race, quite tense towards the middle, but a great finish.
Celebrations for Matt Neal, but there was still some work to do if he was going to make an impression on the championship. Once again, Andy Priaulx took pole for the feature race, looking for a little better luck this time. Anthony Reed was well placed. An excellent third position for Aaron Slight. James Thompson took fourth, and Matt Neal back in sixth. Ivan Muller could only manage 8th position.
Well, the conditions are even worse than they were for the sprint race. The rain has been falling steadily and more heavily, and in fact the race now being started behind the pace car. What they've decided to do here is to get them out behind the pace car, and perhaps just getting the cars to pass over the track clears a little bit of that surface water, and it might then be a little safer for when they actually get running.
Well, the bumpy racetrack here at Knockhill can contain quite a few puddles, and the worry of aquaplaning in these cars here, just too much really to take in the first lap or two, so a few laps behind the pace car to clear the water, a great idea.
So Andy Priaulx leads them away from that pole position. We're on board here with Paul O'Neill, and just look at the conditions.
It's starting to get a bit horrific out here now. The spray's going to be just unbelievable when we get to full speed.
Well, certainly it's going to be difficult for them. He hasn't even got his wipers on at the moment, which is a bit of a surprise. Reed coming through, of course he's second on the grid. Then it's Aaron Slight, he's starting third. Will be a bit of a tough call for the ex-bike racer.
Yeah, can't see a thing in the straight, but the rest of the track's okay.
Well, so far so good for everybody. Very difficult conditions indeed. We heard on board there from Paul O'Neill, the spray is absolutely incredible.
Now this was the view, or lack of it, on board Turkington up to the first corner.
Well, that really is all you can see. Not a great deal, just a few lights, and there's a car disappearing off sharp left.
Yeah, that was Morrison. He made contact with Gareth Howell. There, he's getting back on track. Well, I said we hoped he didn't need his motocross experience. He did rather there, didn't he? And he's right at the back of the pack. There's not a lot he's going to be able to do. But how can you see anything in these conditions? His teammate is Andy Priaulx, and he's leading this race. He's got away quite well. Look at where Anthony Reed is. Well, there's a bit of a gap developing already, even in these early stages. Now the pit lane is open, they aren't allowed to make pit stops, and in fact Prio already is heading up towards the pit lane. Here he is coming into the pits already. First opportunity that he can stop, and he grabs it. Now let's see how Arena Motorsport go to work to get those front wet tyres changed over. That looked pretty neat and tidy. Away he goes.
Well, very, very quick stop indeed. Don't quite know why they called Prio in, because he was in the lead on an empty circuit anyway, but very quick stop indeed.
Thompson comes out safely. Matt Neal rejoins as well. Doesn't look as though there's been any problems between those guys, but there is a problem here for Hughes. They a little bit slow getting it together. Now Reed is our race leader. Paul O'Neill, oh, he goes very wide there. He's just been passed by Ivan Muller. That is for third place, and he's now got Dan Eaves right behind him and Gareth Howell in the battle. So Paul O'Neill, he got squeezed out, and now he's trying to squeeze his way back into the race once again. And Dan Eaves in the Peugeot almost had an opportunity to go through, couldn't quite make it, and now he's got to defend from Gareth Howell.
Well, he certainly has. You just lose a little bit of momentum here at Knockhill, and you can very easily lose a number of places. It's very, very difficult game to play.
Gavin Piper leading in the production class again, as the leaders come through. Fourth place O'Neill, fifth place for Howell versus Dan Eaves, and the long climb up the hill to go across the line once again. And Muller's heading into the pits now, and in fact behind him as well, Dan Eaves and Colin Turkington, that is, coming into the pit lane. So Muller, who always goes well in the feature races, let's see what happens this time. Yeah, reasonably good stop, perhaps not as quick as sometimes. Also in the pits, as we say, Colin Turkington, but remember, he was right with Dan Eaves coming in. He gets the signal to come back out. Eaves is coming down the pit lane. Oh, and they make contact. They make contact coming out of the pits.
Well, that was very, very poor pit work, really. Turkington went when he was told to go, but unfortunately that's the end of Eaves' race. Not very good stuff at all.
There's race leader then, Anthony Reed, and let's see whether he can open up enough of the gap with clear air so that when he makes his stop, he might be able to come back out in front of the likes of Prio and Thompson. Prio being the first of the guys that have made a stop. Remember that strip above the driver's name on the side window? If that's not torn off, then they haven't yet made their pit stop.
Well, some of these drivers will be itching to get themselves into the pits. The conditions absolutely terrible. You can just see how much lying water there is being thrown off the racetrack, off those tyres, into the faces of the cars behind. So it really is very difficult to drive flat out without making a mistake.
Paul O'Neill catching up to race leader Anthony Reed. Clipped that curve a little hard, but he's still there, and in second place there is Gareth Howell doing a good job, the 21-year-old up against the youngster Tom Chilton. They're both doing well, running in third and fourth places, not having made their pit stops. Look at O'Neill though, he's really attacking. Anthony Reed's one of his heroes, he reckons, but he's got a chance to pass him here.
Well, he's got a very good chance if he can see his way past. He's got the MG lined up. Just on the inside, he dives out of the spray, and I don't think Anthony Reed saw that car in his spray.
Well, there is so much spray, not only can you not see anything forwards, you can't see much in your mirrors, and O'Neill says thank you very much, takes over the lead of this race. Winner of one race earlier on this season, remember, at Oulton Park, in much drier conditions, I have to say, than we've got here at Knockhill. So Reed down to second. Here's Andy Prio. Now he's running well, he's ahead of all the other cars that have made their pit stop. So he's looking pretty good. My girl chewing frantically up there on the pit wall, looking pretty nervous, as is Will Hoy. Now James Thompson getting past Norman Simon. This is a battle for position. Remember, the production cars do not make pit stops, so in fact they're battling over 9th place there. But as we go through the race, he will move well ahead of the production cars. On board with Colin Turkington in the battle here with Aaron Slight. Oh, he dives down the inside. Can he get it turned into the hairpin? Yes, he can. Makes it round the outside. Oh, they make contact. Turkington gets spun round onto the field on the inside, and I don't think there's much chance of getting out of there.
He's well and truly stuck here. We're on board again. Turkington very quick into the hairpin, slides past the Astra of Aaron Slight. Oh, that's a big impact. I don't think Aaron Slight was very happy about being overtaken there.
Meanwhile, in the pits, David Leslie, and that seems to be a problem there. Didn't look as though the jack worked properly, so that will drop David slightly down the order. On board with Andy Prio, and he now looking for a way to get past Tom Chilton. I have to say, Chilton's doing a good job, not making any mistakes as yet.
Well, Andy will also know that Chilton hasn't stopped, so it's a race on track, but not really for position. Prio just dives down the inside into the hairpin, though. Very clean stuff. Just takes the position away from Chilton.
Chilton, though, doing very well, isn't he? Not his first time here at Knockhill. He's raced in the T-Car series here before. First year in touring cars. Now there's Chilton's teammate Aaron Slight. Warren Hughes coming up behind him, and in fact going past and way past, sailing past into the gravel again. Well, he did that at a different corner in the last race, but Hughes, I'm afraid, is not having a very good weekend in Scotland. Meanwhile, Chilton is in from second place. He had been passed by Priaulx, remember, and he now rejoins. What he'll be chasing is the win in the independence class, as Matt Neal puts the pressure on teammate Paul O'Neill.
Well, puts the pressure on indeed. He's right on his tail there as Paul O'Neill just runs slightly wide of the apex, and Matt Neal is through. That's all the room he needs. Paul O'Neill just runs wider and wider onto the grass and loses the place.
So that sees Matt Neal up into 5th position now. And with all of the lead runners having made their stops, it is Andy Priaulx, and here he is just getting past Graham Saunders. Or in fact, Saunders coming back at him. Well, that's a surprise. He's in a production class car. Of course, he might not realise that he's got the overall race leader battling with him.
Well, the windows can get very misted up in these touring cars while you're racing in the rain. That's his excuse, but Andy Priaulx takes the place back again.
So Priaulx leads, Muller is in second place, but look at the gap, 6.4 seconds back to Yvan Muller. Andy Priaulx is very much in control of this race. He's always been rapid in wet races in just about anything he's raced, but it's his first proper touring car event in these conditions. Look at Matt Neal. Matt Neal now looking to try and take 4th place away from Anthony Reid, and Reid's now having to work quite hard to hold on to 4th.
Well, Anthony gets a taste of his own medicine there, a slight tap from the rear from Matt Neal there, just reminds Anthony that he's there and puts him under a bit more pressure as they arrive at the overtaking area of the hairpin.
Yeah, trying to go down the outside is Matt Neal. These two had a raging battle for 3rd place at Mondello a few races back, if you remember. It looks like we could have more of the same here at Knockhill. Reid holding on to 4th currently. Matt Neal chasing it. Oh, Boardman's on the curve. Round she goes. Alan Blenko takes avoiding action. Beautiful piece of ballet there from Tom Boardman. He's got it pointing the right way, and he's only lost about 1 place. So he rejoins. There he is. And nothing hit once again, but still this battle raging for 4th place. The spray just about everywhere, and Matt Neal struggling to choose his moment, but now he has chosen his moment down the inside into Clark Curve.
Well, the pressure has paid off. Anthony Reid just ran a bit wide, and you can see the line through that corner is to take all of the curb on the inside. Matt Neal did that and just drove away with that position.
Gavin Piper leading comfortably in the production class at the moment, looking for a 2nd straight win. The man from Dundee will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow, in fact, and what a good way to celebrate it. Oh, and we've got a battle here. Paul O'Neill getting past Anthony Reid. So Matt Neal's up into 4th, Paul O'Neill now up to 5th, and Priaulx leading, but he's got into a big tank slammer here. Oh, and he's in big trouble all over the place. And I don't know where Muller is, but surely he can't be far behind. There he is. Muller suddenly seeing Priaulx in trouble. I don't know how he saved that.
Well, Muller was caught behind some back markers there as well, but Andy Priaulx just gets into a huge tank slapper, gets a bit wide on the curb, absolutely floors the throttle to just pull it straight and gets away with it, is exactly the right word.
Well, he'd almost come to a complete stop at the end of that, but he kept his foot in and managed to keep going. The gap, which had narrowed to about just under 5 seconds, is now down to just over a second between these two. And Priaulx, well, he's only got to get out of the hairpin and across the line to take his first victory in touring cars, but his heart rate must be sky high after that moment. He's going to do it though. He's done enough to take the first victory for Honda for this season and his first ever touring car victory. Yvan Muller takes 2nd place. James Thompson comes through in 3rd. So Vauxhall Motorsport still having a good day, but delight for the boys from Arena Motorsport that run this Honda racing program. Priaulx, the winner at Knockhill, and Gavin Piper taking his 2nd win in production.
A first win for Priaulx and Honda, but no surprises about 2nd, 3rd and 4th, taken by Muller, Thompson and Neal. So Thompson maintains the gap between the two Vauxhalls, with Matt Neal making some progress for Egg Sport. James Kay still ahead in the production class, and Vauxhall dominating elsewhere. Welcome first wins for the Honda team and Andy Priaulx. Well worth the celebration.
We've done it in all conditions, which is a fantastic result. Honda and Arena have really done well today. This is the first bit of wet testing we've done, and they've just given me a winning car in the 2nd session. Fantastic.
2nd place, it's a good place, especially I start 10th on the grid, so I didn't have a very good place, plus the fact I still have weight on the car, less than the first race, so I can be pleased with the end of the weekend.
We've had dry practice and it's a bit of a gamble in the wet weather, and everything to lose, nothing to gain from my point of view. And Ivan and I had a little tussle, but if you let him, on you go at the first corner, and you can take 2 points from me. I took 2 from him in the first race, so we come out the weekend even Stevens, but with 2 less races to go.
The penultimate meeting of the touring car season took place at Brands Hatch, with James Thompson still holding a commanding lead. Ivan Muller his nearest rival. This was the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, the non-stop action shorter track. And the MGs had dominated in qualifying, with Anthony Reid and Warren Hughes first and second on the grid. James Thompson was next, with a chance to wrap up the title on a bank holiday weekend, and a great fourth by independent Gareth Howell.
All set for 25 laps. It's the sprint race, and the lights go to green, and the front row gets away, but Colin Turkington doesn't get away at all well. A very poor start indeed from the Team Atomic Kitten car. His teammate Gareth Howell's got up into 3rd place. Everyone now streaming their way to Paddock Hill Bend. Anthony Reid leads from pole position, Warren Hughes in 2nd, Howell, and then Ivan Muller. Oh, we've got a car off in the background. That's one of the production cars. It's Dave Allen in the Honda Civic, teammate to James Kay. He's gone off at Paddock Hill Bend. Down now into Graham Hill Bend, and it is Anthony Reid ahead of Warren Hughes. Gareth Howell is an MG 1-2-3 at the moment. A great start for these 3, but watch out for James Thompson. He's right behind them. Look at Colin Turkington. Oh, Turkington, there was contact there between Colin Turkington and Matt Neal, and Turkington's gone off into the barrier, and it looks as though his race is run already on this opening lap of the sprint race.
Yeah, here we are on board as we turn into Graham Hill Bend, and there is Matt Neal. He just catches the back of Colin Turkington's car there and just keeps that position, and Turkington doesn't realise he's there, tries to regain the line as he turns into Surtees, but that's enough just to spin him round.
Dave Allen makes it back into the pits after that spin at Paddock Hill Bend. Obviously needs to check the car over and make sure everything is okay. And here come those 2 MGs. It's Anthony Reid versus Warren Hughes. Hughes has had a victory already this season. Reid yet to win. Here comes Tim Harvey down the inside of Ivan Muller. Well, that was a great move from Tim Harvey, and the Peugeot squeezing past the Vauxhall, and here comes Phil Bennett trying to do the same, but he can't manage it.
Yes, good opportunistic move there by Tim Harvey. He saw that Muller was dallying a bit as he came out of clearways at the restart there, and as the pace car, and there going off is Slight. Aaron Slight going off yet again as he exited the Druids corner. It looks like he got tangled up with somebody else's incident.
Well, bad news for Aaron Slight, but hopeful for better things as we go through the afternoon. Ivan Muller, meanwhile, having been passed by Tim Harvey at that restart, wants that position back because he sees his championship rival James Thompson a couple of places ahead now, and he wants to do something about that. Oh, Dave Allen's having a bit of a tough time today. Looks like he's spun down at Graham Hill Bend this time, and obviously enjoying reaching parts of the circuit other cars just don't normally reach. The top 2 up front, Reid versus Hughes, then Gareth Howell running well in 3rd. Here comes James Thompson, still in 4th place, but he's ahead of his main championship rival. This is what happened to Dave Allen.
Yeah, he came there out of Graham Hill Bend, just bounced off the inside of the curb there. That was enough to unsettle the car, and around it goes. So not having a good race so far.
So let's see whether Ivan Muller now can attack Tim Harvey up into clearways. Oh, he takes a late lunge up the inside. Tim leaves it reasonably wide open, and Ivan Muller says thank you very much.
Well, it's not like Tim really, because he was obviously very opportunistic at the restart and jumped Muller there. Muller jumped him, got him back.
Oh, problems for Thompson. There's tyre smoke. Look on board, James Thompson. Something has gone disastrously wrong at the front end of that car.
Yes, that was a big moment there. Look at the inside right front wheel. It's folded right back inside the wheel arch. There's some sort of suspension failure there. He was very lucky not to have a big accident, and Tim Harvey, I think, just managed to scrape round the outside of Paddock.
Battle for 3rd continues. It's still Howell versus Ivan Muller through Surtees, fast through there. Now they get on the brakes into clearways, locking up Muller slightly, but he's got the inside.
But look at Howell there. He's hanging on round the outside. He's just not giving up. He had a big wobble as he went into out of Surtees and then into clearways, which lost him that speed. But here he's hanging on round the outside as they approach Paddock Bend.
Good battle behind between Harvey and Matt Neal as well, but Muller now has got that inside line for Paddock Hill Bend. Matt Neal just squeezing past Tim Harvey. Oh, and Muller goes out a bit wide. Gareth Howell's coming back at him. He's not giving up. On board Matt Neal. We're looking at Gareth Howell just ahead of us there. Still side by side with Ivan Muller. He's squeezing Muller out. Howell's still got that third place. Down into Graham Hill Bend, and Muller comes back. Down the inside. Oh, and Muller takes the place. And Howell now's going to have to watch out for Matt Neal.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Neal's going to get past Howell. That's very unlucky by Howell, but I think a little bit of inexperience. He could have blocked Muller. He could have just driven across front of Muller's car and blocked him into Graham Hill Bend.
Muller doesn't need much of a gap for him to say, I'm coming through. That's exactly what he did. But we've got problems for Dan Eves. Something's gone wrong here, Will.
Yes, as he's approaching Clearways here, as he turns into Clearways, there's Andy Templeton's car on the left as he comes out of Clearways, getting on the power, accelerating to third, fourth, and up to fifth. And there's a real problem with the front suspensional transmission, and he's got a big problem there, and he's hit the wall, so clearly it's fairly terminal.
Looks like he lost steering, and in fact here's his teammate Carl Breeze. He's also lost steering. He's hit somebody, I think, with that left front, and it's certainly done some damage, so it looks like he's out of the race. That's two Team Halford's cars out. Let's see what happened. Well, there was a bit of contact with Tom Chilton as they came onto the straight. Not quite sure what caused it all, but there was contact and whatever. We now have two orange cars out and somebody else in trouble. That's Hyler Breeze. No relation, that's the Australian, and it looks like another engine failure. He's suffered so many of these already this year. He's only done a few races. Poor chap, hasn't gone well for him at all. Safety car out. All these cars are littering the track, Will, so got to go and clear some up.
Yeah, there's been a lot of incident in this race so far. This is typical Brands Hatch. There's James Thompson's car. They're trying to fix it. They're trying to fix that front suspension failure. It's a good idea to get him out to just check the car is okay.
Safety car getting ready to come back into the pits here. Race on again. It's still Anthony Reid, remember, leading for MG with his teammate Warren Hughes right behind him. Two production cars in between them and Ivan Muller. So Muller's got some work to do here if he's to put some pressure on the MGs.
And he's certainly going to be trying, but it might be very difficult. Of course, he's carrying a lot of success ballast from the last round at Knock Hill when he finished second to Andy Priaulx. So it's going to be quite hard, but I'm sure, knowing Muller, the sort of driver he is, he's going to be pushing now that he knows that Thompson is out of this race. So it's a great point-scoring opportunity for him.
Yes, and Matt Neal's not far behind. In fact, Aaron Slight's off in the gravel. That's down at Paddock Hill Bend. I saw his teammate Tom Chilton just seem to be getting going again. So something's happened. Let's take a look back here.
Here we are on board with Norman Simon into Paddock. There on the left is Chilton going off, and there just on the left again is Aaron Slight, and there is Chilton gets out of the gravel trap, and poor Aaron Slight having a very hard race. He's been driving very well quickly, but unfortunately being caught out by one or two unfortunate situations.
Well, up front it's still the two MGs coming through, but in fact the red flag is being shown. The red flag is out. That means the race is being stopped. Now presumably that's because of Aaron Slight's car. It is in quite a dangerous position, as you can see. If the car goes off, it will be straight into Slight's car. The race has been stopped, and they will, I think, classify that as a result because they've completed most of the race distance, so there's no point in bringing the safety car out now. They will finish the race there. There is a very disappointed Aaron Slight walking away from his stricken Vauxhall Astra, but he will start on the front row for the next race. But the sprint race winner here at Brands Hatch is Anthony Reid.
A fantastic 1-2 for MG, while Vauxhall took the manufacturer's title. So, Kevin Whale takes the manufacturer's trophy for Vauxhall with 3 races to go, while Anthony Reid, Warren Hughes and MG also have a lot to shout about.
Wins this year have taken place for other manufacturers in wet conditions, but today we've proven, beyond all doubt, in equal conditions, in dry conditions, the MG is a class car.
I didn't want to risk anything because, it's a fantastic result for MG. I'm over the moon, particularly for MG. I think it's just a stunning race for us.
It was an exciting race. I really enjoyed, and I can be pleased with the third place.
We didn't do it quite as quickly this year as last year, did we? But the competition's getting fiercer, but nevertheless we're in there. The Astra Coupe has come through as best car again, and it's just great. Wonderful.
Unlucky in the sprint race, Aaron Slight took second on the grid for the feature, but he was sandwiched by those MGs. Warren Hughes on first and Anthony Reid third. But after making it onto the front row, there was another setback for the New Zealander.
Well, Aaron Slight, we said he was in the pits, and Will, it looks like some severe problem here.
And very unfortunate too for him, because he qualified on the front row. Fantastic effort by the New Zealander. A very inexperienced touring car driver, of course, fantastic experience on bikes, but very, very unfortunate for him, and he'll be gutted that he's not starting on that front row.
So there's a gap where he should be. Warren Hughes leads them round. It should be Aaron Slight alongside him, but that will give a clear run to Colin Turkington, who's the first of the two Team Atomic Kitten cars on the grid this time. Here we go. Warren Hughes takes the green flag. We're underway for the feature race, 40 laps of the Indy Circuit at Brands Hatch, and Warren Hughes versus Anthony Reid once again. It's Hughes in front. Prio quite a long way down after his poor qualifying session, has a lot of work to do. The Knockhill winner is going to have to fight his way through the order. Hughes versus Reid. There's Turkington and Thompson trying to drive all the way around the outside. Has to make this race count after the disaster of race 1.
Very frantic there around those first 2 or 3 corners of Brands Hatch. As ever, a bit of contact here and there, and as you'd expect at Brands Hatch, everybody jostling for position now as they head up towards Surtees and into Clearways.
So Warren Hughes has the advantage over the man who won the first race today, Anthony Reid. Here comes James Thompson though, looking to find a way past Colin Turkington. Remember, Turkington's race lasted less than a lap in the sprint race. Had a little bit of contact with Matt Neal and went off down at Surtees, but so far so good for Turkington. Looking back down the order, looks like Norman Simon is once again ahead in the production class. The two MGs, here comes the battle for third. It's Turkington versus Thompson. Thompson squeezes through on the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, but like Howell earlier, Turkington's trying to come back at him again as they come up towards Druids. He's got the inside, he hits Thompson. He's actually hit him and he's got sideways. Turkington's all out of shape. Oh, Thompson was lucky to make it through the middle there.
Yes, Druids, Ben, often seen of a lot of contact in the first 2 or 3 laps, and I'm sure that when we look back here on board with Anthony Reid there, does Turkington just outbreaks himself and hits Thompson. Thompson's very lucky to recover from that and not to be pushed off into the gravel.
Gareth Howell took advantage, but now Thompson's coming back at him. Howell was able to nip past in that incident, but now he has James Thompson leaning on him as they come out of Clearways. Remember, in the first race, it was Gareth Howell versus Ivan Muller. Now he's up against the other Vauxhall Motorsports driver. It is James Thompson. And I wonder, Will, does Gareth have to think about the fact that James is heading for the championship or trying to get points here?
I don't think he does as a driver. I don't think you're aware of that. I guess you don't want to make a mistake which might push off the championship leader or one of the major contenders. But the way he's driving at the moment, he's obviously not respecting anybody's reputation.
No, he's not, but he's doing a good job at the moment, isn't he? Staying ahead of Thompson, giving as good as he gets, and Matt Neal's right in there as well. Now we ride on board with second place man Anthony Reid. That's teammate Warren Hughes right ahead and diving up the inside into Clearways. He's gone for the move. Anthony Reid trying to get past his teammate.
I don't suppose Hughes expected that. He left the door quite open, but I don't know if they have any rules or not within the team to if the lead driver can keep his position unless he makes a mistake. But clearly I don't think Hughes is going to be very impressed with the way Reid just sliced down the inside of Clearways.
Safely done though, no contact, and so both cars survive, and there's plenty of laps left here in which to battle. Remember, they've still got their obligatory pit stop to come, and a lot can change during the course of those pit stops. Third place still is Gareth Howell, then it's James Thompson, Matt Neal chasing, Tim Harvey's running well, Alan Morrison is in the battle there with David Leslie, and he's going, they come through Graham Hill Bend side and they've made contact, and Leslie spins out. Oh, he's into the tyre barrier on the outside in the Proton. End of race.
Here we are on board with Morrison as he dives down the inside of Leslie. Leslie seems to leave himself a bit of room there to let Morrison through. Big impact there as he hits the barrier and the tyre wall gets destroyed. Not looking like Happy Bunny there, David Leslie.
Now look, James Thompson's decided to come into the pits already. Early stages to come in. He's really taken the first opportunity, and Thompson comes in. Now, Muller was only a couple of places behind him. Of course, he's got to watch out for where Muller is in this race. He's determined to gain some points on him this time. Still ahead in the championship, but needs a decent finish. Now, reasonable stop, 7.2 seconds. Not one of the best we've seen this year, but it gets him out, and we'll see what happens when the others start making their pit stop. It's still Anthony Reid from Warren Hughes, Gareth Howell staying very close to them, and the three MGs up there. Can they make it an all-MG podium this time? That would really be quite something. Into the pits comes Ivan Muller now, and Tom Chilton also heading into pit lane. So, the Vauxhall Motorsport boys go to work.
Yeah, quite a few cars coming in now for the mandatory tyre stop. Quite a good tactic to come in early, just in case there is a pace car situation later. Muller gets away there a bit quicker than James Thompson, but not a particularly quick time.
Now, let's see where this puts them relative to one another. Here comes Thompson along the top straight. Where's Muller? Where's Muller? There's Muller. He's on the inside. He's ahead. Now Thompson's got the speed. He's got to try and carry it through Paddock Hill Bend, get round the outside of Muller and try and move ahead of his teammate once again. Up the hill towards Druids. It's going to be close run thing into the corner. Oh, and Muller's locked up. He's taken Thompson off. He's taken him into the gravel.
That is an amazing incident that really shouldn't happen between teammates. It does happen, I should know. I've had a few run-ins with my teammates at Brands Hatch, and Thompson must be feeling absolutely gutted there. He's lost the opportunity yet again to score points this weekend.
Now this is the battle for the lead, everybody having made their pit stops. It's Warren Hughes versus Paul O'Neill and Alan Morrison. Remember Alan Morrison? He had that contact with David Leslie in the early part of this race, but there he is in third place, and showing that the Hondas are competitive here at Brands. As you said, well, the Andy Priaulx has set the fastest lap in this race. Morrison now looking for his first podium finish, perhaps. Gavin Piper spinning down the hill. Now I wonder what happened there. Let's take a look and see if we can find out. This is with Norman Simon.
And there's Piper there braking as he goes into Druids and leaves the door a little bit open. Simon there sees an opportunity, tries to tuck down the inside, and there tags Piper and just spins him right round. Well, that's touring cars for you.
Oh, and this is more touring cars. So that's Tom Boardman. And there's been contact there. I think that was Paul O'Neill he was rounding the hairpin with. Oh, and Tom, you can't carry on with your front wheel waving around like that. You better get it back to the pits, I guess. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, that was quite, it looks quite, I shouldn't really laugh, but that's really Keystone Cops with that sort of front axle spinning around there. Yes, contact there from O'Neill.
Anthony Reid ahead of Aaron Slight, and Slight getting a real masterclass in touring car racing from some of the most experienced competitors around, and Slight just a little slowed down at Paddock Hill Bend, and Muller's now coming up the inside trying to get into Druid. Slight tries to shut the door, he can't. Muller squeezes through, and there goes Andy Priaulx around the outside.
This is most amazing touring car racing. Look, they're swapping places one corner to the next. This is fantastic stuff. They're all still on the track, and there's a very disconsolate looking James Thompson. I'm surprised he's even bothered to watch the race.
Yes, he's not a happy man at all, scoring no points here at Brands Hatch this weekend, but MG scoring maximum points. 2 wins to MG. Warren Hughes comes through to take the victory in the feature race. Second place, his best result of the season for Alan Morrison, and a good third place there for Tim Harvey. Paul O'Neill comes across the line in fourth, and there's our production winner. It's Norman Simon in the BMW. Anthony Reid just holding on to fifth place after that tremendous tussle over the last few laps. But Warren Hughes, well, he's over the moon with that victory.
Well done, mate. Excellent drive. That is amazing. Fantastic job. Brilliant.
So, while James Thompson watches the points disappear, Warren Hughes makes it a double for MG. Ivan Muller has made up phenomenal ground in the championship and goes into the final race meeting just 4 points behind James Thompson. Not quite as close in the production class. But MG fired a warning shot to Vauxhall at Brands Hatch. Their dominance may not come as easily next season. What a day for Warren Hughes and MG, but a somewhat poisoned chalice for Ivan Muller, who pushes himself back into the championship contention.
I was getting a hard time, clearly, but I had one off maximum ballast. I just think that's an amazing job. West Surrey Racing, WSR, who designed and build the car, just did an incredible pit stop turnaround, so that won me the race.
It was a very tough race, for sure. Was very close with everybody. You know, when you have 15 cars and 5 tenths, I went on the middle of the road for Druid's corner. He tried to pass me outside, but when I brake, I locked the front wheel and I went straight on. And unfortunately, he was on my left side and he had to come with me.
So, how exciting could touring cars get? The title going down to the wire, with James Thompson and Ivan Muller going head-to-head for the championship. Sprint race qualifying ended up with James Thompson on pole position, Matt Neal on second, and Ivan Muller on third, the main contenders. A good fourth position for Andy Priaulx, and in fifth, Anthony Reid in the MG.
So here we go then, the final standing start of the year. James Thompson on pole position. needs to convert this into some decent points. Away we go. Matt Neal makes a great start. Thompson is slow away. Ivan Muller's got away very well indeed. And in fact, it's Muller moving up into second place on the run down towards Redgate Corner. But it is Matt Neal who leads them through the first bend. James Thompson from pole position has dropped down to third. He's under pressure from Andy Brio. Oh, and Brio's teammate Alan Morrison is off into the gravel trap at Redgate Corner, down through the Grainer curves, and Thompson now beginning to hound his teammate. There's more dust in the background. Somebody else has gone off on the exit of Redgate Corner as Muller locks up slightly coming into the old hairpin. Every one of the front runners is surviving so far, and it's Matt Neal. Oh, and Aaron Slight's off. It's Aaron Slight, the man trying to get the Independence Cup here this weekend, and that looked like a heavily damaged car. Here come the leaders into McLean's. Thompson on the inside of Muller. Oh, he hits him. Muller's pushed a bit wide. He gets back on, and Andy Brio now trying to take advantage of that.
Yeah, so it was an interesting first couple of corners there as they plunged down into Craner curves. Of course, one of the best corners on any circuit in Britain, and a good place to really sort out your position on the track. But there, James, and the safety car is out. The safety car is out.
Well, that's because of Aaron Slight's car. Let's take a look at that start again.
Well, there you can see James Thompson being left standing there from pole position as Matt Neal and Ivan Muller we're on board with pull away. And now we're on board with David Leslie, and we'll probably see what happened to some of the other cars. There is Morrison going off, being tapped by somebody, and there's David Leslie being hit sideways as well. So a lot happening.
Alan Morrison rejoining thanks to the good work of the marshals, and let's take another look at that from on board Aaron Slight. It was Leslie who got sideways. Slight then moves up to the outside, and then there's and it all gets a bit too tight there. I think Leslie might have been pushed across, and bang, big impact with the wall there for Aaron Slight, and that's done a lot of damage to the Astra.
Yeah, very unlucky, but a typical sort of Redgate first lap corner actually, where people are just shuffling for position and then really just get caught out.
Okay, just a few words. Jimmy has walked this agreement, so now there is no more agreement.
Well, I don't know about agreements, Ivan. I don't know what happened to the agreement at Brands Hatch. It wasn't quite according to plan. Let's take a look at this again. This is what he's talking about, Will, because James Thompson was pretty aggressive on that move.
Yes, he certainly was, and into McLean's there, big impact as he turns in on Ivan Muller, but of course trying to make up for that very tardy start he made, and this is of course at the end of the first lap, so he's got a lot to do.
Well, we're about ready for the restart. Here comes Matt Neal once again. It's James Thompson now in second place, but Andy Brio in the Honda trying to get past that Vauxhall Astra. Muller's down in fourth place, remember. Behind him, it's Anthony Reid in the MG, a winner last time out at Brands Hatch, and now trying to get the MG in amongst, and somebody else off. That's the other MG, that's Warren Hughes, who's taken a trip through the gravel. I think he survived, as Thompson now protects second place from Brio. Here comes Ivan Muller. Muller knows he's got to find a way past that Honda.
Yes, and it's going to be hard because the Hondas are going very well round here. They've been, both Morrison and Brio have been going well in qualifying, so it's not as easy as it was at the beginning of the season for Vauxhall, but everybody's caught up, of course, and that's great for the championship.
Well, it looked like Anthony Reid went a bit wide at McLean's there. Yeah, he's still on, but he's put him under pressure from Paul O'Neill in the background. Look at that. The green and black MG really under pressure from Paul O'Neill, but O'Neill, although he's over the curb, can't squeeze through. And now Gareth Howell, leading independent. He's leading that class, and you know, he's got a chance for the overall title in the independence class in the yellow MG with Aaron Slight's problems. And Howell now versus Anthony Reid. Reid's got the inside line. Paul O'Neill's trying to come back at him into the Fogarty S's. Oh, good racing between these three, and they survived the moment.
And the organisers have also introduced a regulation meaning that you can't touch the cones as you turn into these S's, so all the drivers are having to be a little bit more circumspect.
O'Neill, he's hit Howell. Gareth Howell and Phil Bennett was involved in that as well. I know O'Neill and Bennett were battling coming down there, so I don't know quite who hit whom initially, but the end result is Bennett's lost a lot of place, and I think Howell's in trouble, and that has huge ramifications for the Independence Cup. Meanwhile, up front, Matt Neal is leading from James Thompson in second place, and Thompson's hunting him down, looking for a way through into Redgate. He's down the inside, they make contact, he's over the curb, Neal gets sideways, Thompson is through, Thompson's into the lead of the race, and Ivan Muller's back and forth. Brio comes up into second place, and this is exactly what Thompson needs if he's to win this championship. Well, there is Gareth Howell. He is in the pits and out of it, and meanwhile there's been a change for the lead in the production class. Gavin Piper's squeezed past Norman Simon, so the Alfa Romeo's ahead in that class. But what a move that was from Thompson.
And there's another accident there. That's Graham Sanders going off in the Alfa Romeo at the old hairpin. That's quite a big accident. That is where Nigel Mansell went off all those years ago and had that famous incident.
Oh dear, well, we are seeing plenty of action here in the sprint race, still the featured race to come, but James Thompson's where he wants to be. That's out in front. This might bring the safety car out again. Just look at the amount of damage to the front of the Alfa 156. Indeed, it does bring the safety car out once more. So this bunches everybody together. Thompson's hard-earned lead will come under pressure once again from the likes of Andy Priaulx and Matt Neal. They're not behind the safety car yet. They're still racing until they come up to the line. Meanwhile, Gareth Howell trying to explain what happened to him. He was just an innocent victim there. In the instant we saw him go out down at the hairpin, that was Graham Saunders' crash. And that, I think, that car won't be making it back out for the feature race. Lots of damage done to the front end. Right, here we go then. Almost ready for the restart. James Thompson trying to fend off Andy Priaulx and Matt Neal. And remember, Yvan Muller still lurking in 4th place as the two of them battle for the championship. Anthony Reid in 5th, not getting away particularly well as we look down into Redgate corner on the restart. Thompson ahead of the Honda of Andy Priaulx, the other Vauxhall of Matt Neal, and then Yvan Muller in 4th position. Anthony Reid dropping back a bit on the restart under pressure from David Leslie.
Yes, of course, the restarts here at Donington are very special because you plunge downhill into Craner curves, and these curves actually are quite blind. You turn in to the left-hand and right-hand parts of these curves, and you really are, if you're close up behind another car, it's actually quite difficult to find the line. And there Andy Priaulx looking, searching for the line behind James Thompson, right close up behind his bumper.
Good battle for the lead that we've got here. Also a little further behind, watch out for the Team Halford's Peugeots. They are now leading in the independent class. It's Dan Eves ahead of Tim Harvey, a little bit in the background. But that's crucial too, because Dan Eves could move ahead in the Independence Cup. We've lost Aaron Slight from this race, remember. We've lost Gareth Howell. Annie Templeton has had a spin. I think she's going to be able to rejoin, so no major dramas for her. But here's James Thompson, and he's still under pressure from Andy Priaulx. Matt Neal right behind as well in 3rd place. 4th place is still Yvan Muller, and Muller doesn't seem to be able to quite catch up. I thought we might expect Muller really attacking now, but he seems to be struggling a little bit. Matt Neal, meanwhile, gets down the inside of Andy Priaulx. Retakes 2nd.
A good move there by Matt Neal, good opportunistic move, and really, I think Andy Priaulx slightly left the door open there, and here's the, looks like the battle for the production lead as they come up towards McLean corner.
Gavin Piper with the Alfa just ahead of Norman Simon. James Case in 3rd place though, and remember, he's basically champion already, just wants to survive this race. Anthony Reid's attacking Muller. Oh, he's hit him. They've made contact down at Redgate. Muller has saved it, but that's another place lost to Yvan Muller. He cannot afford to lose these points. Let's look back at it.
There we see the impact by Anthony Reid on Yvan Muller as he knocks the car completely sideways at Redgate and really loses a lot of momentum.
Here are those two Independence Cups cars. Dan Eves ahead of his teammate Tim Harvey. Now, Dan Eves, as I mentioned, could move ahead of Aaron Slight. Tim Harvey, those in the same position. Either of them could still win the Independence Cup. Paul O'Neill is out of the action though. Car buried in the gravel trap, can't get it out of there, so that's a shame for him. Matt Neal and Andy Priaulx still engaged in this battle over 2nd place as Priaulx just kicks up one of the marker cones on the inside of Goddard's, winner at Knockhill earlier this year. Matt Neal's a 3-times winner so far this season, led the championship at the midway point of the season, hasn't gone so well in the latter part. Meanwhile, here's the battle in the production class. Norman Simon in the BMWs ahead now of the Alfa Romeo of Gavin Piper. James Kay's right in there. This is wonderful battling between the 3 front runners in the production class all season.
Very good, and so far quite clean, not too much contact is what we like to see, and really proving that production racing can be nearly every bit as good as the main class.
Some of these drivers will be hoping to move up to the Tourer class next year, I'm sure, but they are certainly putting on a show here at Donington. Gavin Piper's getting down the inside into Redgate, and no contact there, unlike a couple of moves we've seen from the Tourers. Gavin Piper slips past Norman Simon. Now then, back with the leaders, and Andy Priaulx still attacking Matt Neal. Oh, Matt Neal's made a big mistake, lost it down at the Melbourne hairpin, and Priaulx goes into 2nd.
Yeah, that was a slightly interesting mistake that, because it looks like he's obviously got some sort of braking problem. There, the rear of the car locks up and he just spins him round and really out of 2nd place. So Matt Neal just obviously got some sort of braking problem.
Yeah, another problem here. Well, look, Tim Harvey's dropped right back. Dan Eves has come through, but Tim Harvey's in trouble. James Kay almost spinning. Well, he's got it back on the road. Great car control. But now James has had a problem. Let's see what happened. This is up into McLean's. Oh, that was on the brakes as well.
Yes, looks like another braking problem of some sort. So whether Donington is throwing up some sort of braking problems today, I'm not sure.
Colin Turkington versus Tom Chilton. Another battle between independents, although neither of these guys are in the running for the overall Independents Cup. But it's a good battle nonetheless between youngsters who have shown themselves this season to be potential stars of the future. Back with the race leader, James Thompson, still under attack. Oh, and Tim Harvey, we saw him going slowly, and that looks very smoky indeed. Looks like the engine's gone on that, and that really could be the end of his chances in the Independents Cup now. Looks like he'll have to have an engine change, another loss of 5 points. Now we're on to the last lap, and James Thompson has a great chance here to score some points over Ivan Muller and have the advantage going into the final race, the feature race coming up a little bit later today. But Andy Priaulx still in with a chance and showing that he's not going to give up despite the championship battle going on around him.
Yes, but of course James made a very poor start to the race, but has really picked up the pace and driven very aggressively and very hard since. So he really has regathered the race for himself, and obviously Andy Priaulx is putting him under as much pressure as he can, but Andy was also aware, of course, that James is battling for the championship, so it's an interesting one psychologically.
Well, it looks like Andy's looking for any little slip up that Thompson might make. He's not probably going to attack too hard and take Thompson off. I don't think he'd risk something like that. Well, let's wait and see. We've still got a bit of this track to go. They've got Annie Templeton to go past as they head down towards the S's, and Priaulx once again just looking for any little opportunity that might come. Thompson covers the middle ground there into the S's, and Priaulx's not allowed to get through. And now the rundown, just 2 more corners for James Thompson to hang on to take the victory in this sprint race, but Priaulx has not given up hopes of taking his second win of the season.
I think Andy Priaulx knows he's got a car he can win this race with here, but as you said, he's not going to make any mistakes, stupid mistakes that are likely to take James Thompson off the track.
So up to the last corner, and James Thompson has done exactly what he needed to do in this first race. That is to beat Ivan Muller. He's got the benefit of 1 or 2 cars between himself and Muller as well as he crosses the line. James Thompson wins the sprint race at Donington Park, and he knows how important that is. Andy Priaulx finishing in second place, and we look back to see in third it is Matt Neal, fourth place Anthony Reid, so down in fifth place Ivan Muller, and that's not great news for his championship hopes. Dan Eaves comes through to win the Independents Cup part of this race, and that gives him a great chance of the outright title after problems for Aaron Slight. There's his car off at the side of the road, and also problems for Tim Harvey in the Team Halfords Peugeot.
A poor start by James Thompson, but a great finish to secure a win. Chased home by Andy Priaulx in the Honda and Matt Neal in a Vauxhall.
Good trademark touring car race, really. Lots of overtaking, a bit of contact. I've been on the receiving end of most of it all year, so yeah, rubbed a few panels in that one, and yeah, very glad to hold on to the win at the end.
If you have looked the race, I'm sure you did, I overtake 3 cars with no contact at all. And all the overtaking was around me, it was with contact. So, who's the bad boy?
Celebrations for James Kay after the sprint race after he won the production class title.
I really struggled in the race. I had a brake problem. I couldn't overtake either of them in front. I just had to be there, and eventually we had no brakes, so I just had to nurse the car to the end. But Lady Luck was on our side.
So the final grid of the 2002 championships: pole for Andy Priaulx in the Honda, Matt Neal in second, and James Thompson and Ivan Muller locked together on the second row.
So, this full field of cars, this is it. This is the championship decider. And I wonder what's going on in the mind here of James Thompson. He's keeping a close eye on Ivan Muller. Muller studiously ignoring Thompson and looking at the start lights, which is an interesting one. We're all set to go. The feature race will decide the outcome of the title, and it's Andy Priaulx from pole position who gets away well. James Thompson drops in behind Muller. In fact, Morrison gets ahead of him as well. So it is Andy Priaulx ahead of Matt Neal. Muller up into third place. Then it's Alan Morrison and James Thompson down into fifth place. But don't forget, he does have that 10-point advantage coming into this race.
Well, my gut feeling this time round is it's an intentional ploy to stay behind and just to track Muller. But unlike the first time where he definitely made a mistake.
Let's just take a look at that start again. You can see from the overhead that Thompson on the outside of the second row really doesn't get away well, so Muller has an easy time of it.
Yes, I think, as we said there, that it probably was Thompson being intentional and just trying to play it safe.
So Andy Priaulx leads, Matt Neal in second. It's all about what Ivan Muller can do now and whether James Thompson can stay with him. Oh, Phil Bennett had a spin up there in the background by the look of it. And we've got an Alfa Romeo going wide. That's Alan Blanco, who's taken a wild trip across the gravel, just keeps it off the tyres by the matter of a few centimetres, and he's still trying to find his way back on track. Meanwhile, Andy Priaulx leads, battle for second. Here comes Ivan Muller. Muller has to go for it now. He's got down the inside of Matt Neal. Bit of door rubbing. Oh, and he's gone sideways. Neal hits him in the door as well. Muller not really giving Matt Neal much space to work in, and that's pushed Muller down a couple of places. So look at the lead that Andy Priaulx has, and look at this battle going on for second behind him, Alan Morrison, and here's Ivan Muller trying to get past James Thompson again. It's frenetic stuff.
Very exciting indeed, and but James Thompson's definitely got the advantage, because really he can just sit there and behind Muller and just play safe.
Now look at this battle for second, Matt Neal versus Alan Morrison. Oh, and Aaron Slight's in trouble. Well, they got that car back on the grid, but there's been contact again, and he looks to be in trouble. As look at this, all the cars everywhere. Ivan Muller's in the middle of that pack behind this battle for second place, and Thompson's in there as well. Anthony Reid's on the inside of the MG. Paul O'Neill on the outside, Gareth Howell in the independent car on the inside as well. 3 abreast, 4 abreast some of the time. This must be pretty nerve-wracking stuff for Ivan Muller, who wants a clean race to the front to get the points to try and beat Thompson in the championship.
Yeah, look at Reid there. Reid going completely sideways at Craner as he got pushed out wide there. This is really exciting stuff. It's a classic sequence of corners here. And there, Muller pushing his way to 4th place.
Well, Paul O'Neill is not giving up that position that easily. Look and watch from on board Ivan Muller. Here comes O'Neill back at him again. Well, Paul O'Neill is not going to give way that easily, and Ivan Muller's really got a race in his hands. Battle for second continues as Morrison has got himself ahead of Matt Neal, and that's good stuff as Aaron Slight does retire. That is disastrous news. The championship is over for him. Dan Eaves is going to win the Independence Cup title. This battle for second is still on. I thought Morrison had already got it. Now he does just get it as he moves ahead into the S's. Look at Anthony Reid next up. Then it's Ivan Muller. Paul O'Neill, he hits Paul O'Neill. So Muller involved in more contact as Howell tries to get past them both. And James Thompson still holding a watching brief right behind, making sure that Muller's not too many places ahead of him. Oh, look at this. Where can they all fit into? I don't know. They're all trying to get round the Melbourne hairpin together.
Yes, it's not really going well for Ivan Muller, is it?
It's a tough battle in the mid-pack at the moment. Dan Eaves is out as well. He's got problems.
Okay, guys, the race is finished for me. The suspension is banned. I come in, it's over.
Oh, and Tom Chilton. Tom Chilton hits the wall.
Ivan, where's the suspension broken? Front, rear, left or right?
Front right, I think.
Well, Ivan Muller into the pits. This is it. This is the championship being decided right now. He cannot win this race now. And they're still looking around the front of the car. Well, it's disaster for the second year in a row for Ivan Muller.
Yes, very unlucky, but I mean, that's motor racing. It happens, and he'll be disappointed, obviously, but he'll soon be thinking about next year, another championship, I guess.
So Ivan Muller walks away from his stricken Astra. There was so much going on. I suppose damage was inevitable. Tom Chilton also out.
Ivan has finished his race. He's been put into the garage. Does that mean what I think it means? Yes, it does, mate. Just enjoy yourself and stay out of trouble, all right? Well done.
So Thompson's celebrating already, whether he finishes or not.
Tell us your race, Aaron.
I just can't believe I was actually in the race. You know, the guys did just such an amazing job. I mean, you saw the car before; it was bad, and they've pulled it apart and got it going. You know, and I was really, really amazed. And I got through the first lap. I put unscathed. I come into the chicane, which the guys have been moaning about cutting across all day. So I ran in there a bit deep to block a line, and I came back across, and Leslie just come across the front wheel and broke the upright. You know, that's probably my fault. I should have let him go.
It's very unlucky there for Aaron Slight, but clearly this year showing that he's got lots of talent in touring cars. We saw it, of course, in World Superbikes, but I imagine in 2003 we'll be seeing it in touring cars.
Yeah, sad news for him. Dan Eaves is, of course, the Independence Cup champion despite going out of this race, but we still have a race to run. Andy Prio leads as they get to the restart. His teammate Alan Morrison behind, then it's Matt Neal, then Anthony Reid, who's going to take the last victory of the season. Gareth Howell's in there as well in the yellow and black MG. Paul O'Neill not far behind him. And then Warren Hughes battling with David Leslie side by side. The L plates on Warren Hughes' car, nothing to do with his driving. The team celebrates the fact that he's going to be getting married next week, and he's managed to get past David Leslie.
And both MGs there involved in action down through the Craner curves, and it looks like maybe Anthony Reid now closing in on Matt Neal. Yes, he does. He closes in there and barges his way through at McLean's. So
good aggressive racing once again, and Reid certainly showing that ruthless streak here. Colin Howell's made contact with Reid. Howell goes off into the gravel trap. Fellow MG driver, the two of them have had it coming together.
Here we are on board with O'Neill, and we'll see what happens here. Really, it's a question of Howell there, really trying to go around the outside of Reid. Didn't give Reid enough room, and as a result of that, he spun himself out of the corner at Coppice.
Now look at this battle in the production class. Norman Simon versus James Kay as James Thompson comes into the pits. Now remember, he's lost a few places, but he doesn't care. He's champion. Well, a few places matter. Good stop from the team. They've got him back out. Matt Neal was in on that same lap as well. As a very disappointed Gareth Howell walks back. It's been a disastrous day for him, failing to finish either race, I'm afraid. Both Hondas are doing well, running first and second. Big gap back to Warren Hughes, who's now in third place, courtesy of pit stops. And there's Colin Turkington in the second Team Atomic Kitten MG, so both of them are now out of this race. But Hughes, you know, he started down in 15th place, hasn't made a pit stop yet, but he's in a good third position at the moment. Paul O'Neill right behind him, then it's David Leslie, and then the two Team Halford's cars. Tim Harvey chased by his teammate Carl Breeze. Behind him, Phil Bennett in the second Proton.
Yes, they've all been having a good run, those guys, and just a good solid performance. But of course, we're only halfway through this race at the moment. At the moment, the two Hondas obviously just swapping times and looking very similar in terms of performance, and will be interesting to see how their tactics compare in terms of pit stops.
Yes, well, in fact, look, a tight line from Morrison, so he's coming in. So Morrison is the first of the two Hondas to come in. Remember, his car is running light, much lighter than Andy Prio's car. Prio's got some 30 kilos of ballast on board. Morrison cleverly lost a couple of places on purpose in the first race to make sure his car was extra light for this second race. Good stop from the Arena Motorsport crew, and they send Morrison on his way. So we'll have to see whether he gets out ahead of Prio when he's made his stop. Boardman under attack here from Spencer Marsh, who gives him a little helping hand. And Tom goes off. He gets it into gear straight away. Oh, he hasn't quite got it sorted out. Not supposed to be doing donuts out there to entertain the crowd, Tom. You're supposed to be racing.
Yeah, it's a bit over-enthusiastic there, but you could see it coming, couldn't you?
Into the pits now comes Andy Prio. So this is the crucial stop. Will he get out ahead of Alan Morrison? Morrison's putting in some pretty quick times at the moment. Prio tries to get back out again ahead of his teammate, running down the pit straight, but Morrison is going to be ahead. Here's the battle in the production class. Norman Simon makes a little bit of a mistake, and James Kay shadows his every move. He is champion now, and he can just go for it, but he can't at the moment find a way past the BMW.
But he does seem to be just gaining a little bit of ground there on the BMW. You see, yes, I think he's going to get in on the brakes into Redgate. He does. He just does get in front there. So we've got a change of position at the front of the production class.
Gavin Piper struggling to make up ground after his gearbox problems in qualifying. In comes Warren Hughes. Now, he was leading this race. Later stop than the two Hondas, so he had moved into the lead of the race. Where will this get him back out? Pretty good stuff from WSR. They get him on his way, and that's our new race leader, Tim Harvey. But he has yet to stop, and right behind him is Alan Morrison, who has stopped already as Tim Harvey peels off into the pit lane. This is our new race leader. It is Alan Morrison, and he has quite an advantage over his teammate, Andy Prio, as Harvey comes in to stop. Now, let's hope that he gets away cleanly. Further back, there's a good battle going on here for what is fourth position, with Matt Neal trying to defend from James Thompson, and then Paul O'Neill right behind.
James Thompson, of course, will be really enjoying this. There's no pressure, of course. He's now effectively, he's got the championship. He's just got to get the car to the finish, and looks like they're one of the production Peugeots struggling to complete the race.
Yeah, Mark Fullerlove out of luck, I'm afraid. Looked like there was some smoke coming from the front wheel, maybe a hub problem or something. Matt Neal, meanwhile, holding on to this fourth place. You saw Warren Hughes go through the shot. He's in third. It's the two Hondas still leading. Oh, and Tim Harvey has pulled off to the side of the road again. Well, he's just completely out of luck this weekend. Had an engine go in the first race. Now look at Paul O'Neill attacking James Thompson. This is for 5th place. Down the inside into the Fogarty S's, locks a brake. And James Thompson says, well, I'm not going to fight that hard now.
No, I think he's made the right decision there. He would like just to cross the line, enjoy crossing the line, being champion. And there we see Alan Morrison entering the last corner, which is Goddard's, and completing another lap.
Yeah, he's got a good advantage at the moment. Never won in the touring class of the British Touring Car Championship. Won in production class in the past. Now let's take another look at what O'Neill did a moment ago.
Yeah, it's quite an aggressive move there with the new British Touring Car Champion for 2002. And he turns in over the curbs there and takes the place from James Thompson.
Oh, and problems for his teammate, Matt Neal. He's pulled off to the side of the road. Looks like a mechanical problem. Or Paul O'Neill getting it all out of shape, and it's giving James Thompson a run once again to perhaps get that place back from him. This is now a battle for 4th, of course, because Matt Neal's pulled off to the side of the road. And now James Thompson moves up to 4th position as Norman Simon continues this battle with James Kay. Fantastic racing again between these two. Gavin Piper not a part of it in this feature race. He got a little bit waylaid at the start of the race, starting from further back. You can just see him in the background. But Norman Simon at the moment fending off the production class champion, James Kay. As Matt Neal says, well, season over. That's the way it goes sometimes. And in the end, of course, couldn't quite battle for the title himself. Andy Prio's dropped back. Andy Prio's dropped back behind Thompson there. And where's O'Neill got? O'Neill's got off onto the gravel. I was just going to say he's dropped behind O'Neill, but now he's got past O'Neill because he's taken a very strange line.
Yes, O'Neill's been entertaining us this afternoon. Clearly, he made a mistake there at Redgate and got a bit wide, lost the place to James Thompson, and has obviously got another handling problem.
Here comes Morrison. The checker flag is ready, and Alan Morrison wins his first ever touring car race in the top class. Great effort from him. As looking back for our 2nd place finisher, there he is, Warren Hughes. And Hughes working his way up from a lowly grid position to take 2nd position here at Donington. A great end to his season as well. And in the background, the battle for 3rd. Andy Prio back on turns with Thompson. He seemed to have some sort of intermittent problem that dropped him back, and he almost got 3rd again on the line. But in fact, it goes to James Thompson. Alan Morrison is the winner of the last race, but James Thompson is British Touring Car Champion.
So, Alan Morrison takes his first win of the season for Honda, with Warren Hughes 2nd for MG. But most importantly, that man, James Thompson, secures the British Touring Car Championship title after a long, hard campaign. James Kay had already secured the Production Class Championship with Norman Simon gaining the runner-up position. Vauxhall Motorsport dominated the Teams and Manufacturers Championship, but MG, Honda and Proton have demonstrated its growing competitiveness and strength. But this year belonged to Vauxhall and James Thompson.
Well, I don't know what happened at the start. All hell broke loose. Ivan and I were at the front, and then we're at the back. And our strategy really was just to match Ivan, because it's a 10-point advantage. After the first race, just had to match him. I hadn't been so far down the pack for ages. And literally, I was just thinking, crikey, it's getting a bit tough. As you can see, sporting a fair bit of damage. And then next minute, Ivan was tussling, I was tussling, we were banging wheels, and then coming out this corner, I saw Ivan pull off, and at that point in time, I had a sneaking suspicion it was all over.
What did you think when Muller came off?
Well, delight, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie with you. I was just delighted. I've had, a massive amount of bad luck, engine changes and all sorts. So, he doesn't deserve, bad luck. But at the end of the day, just thoroughly pleased that it came my way.